Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Spill the Tea, Lou. And I'm taking credit. We're actually more or less on time. I don't care. 60 seconds doesn't count. We are on time. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Please do smash a like on your way into the video. Obviously, I'm Lou. Obviously, that's Ash. Obviously, this is going to be mayhem. So strap yourself in and enjoy. I see everybody's already in the chat. I see Gav. Gav was here so early. So good. I literally posted it. Gav was in the chat. I was like, good man, Gav. First like on the video, straight in. Guess has got the tea. Rob's in the house. Jay's in the house. Streets is in the house. Guess is back with her tea. Ash is here. I'm here. There's no technical difficulties. There might be speaking difficulties.
Just a speech impediment, but we'll get there.
That I have developed in the last 5 minutes. We have a lot to talk about. And as some of you know, Ash gave up texting me, asking me, what are we going to talk about today? Because every time the poor chap texts me, I feel like, I don't know. Let's just see what happens. Let's see what comes to my head between now and then. But I've done something really crazy. I've only done this one other time on the show. And let's face it, it was the longest show we ever did. So do prepare yourself. I hope everybody has snacks. I hope everybody has taken a leaf out of Guess's book and got some tea, got a beverage, got something to keep yourself amused, because we have a lot to go through. Ash, I text Ash today and I was like, so this is the things we're going to talk about. And Ash has had to mentally prepare himself to come on to this show now. I just went out and laid in the snow for a bit. I just didn't want to think about it. I've got really ambitious. So we're going to try and get through everything. Essentially, there isn't just like a list of topics. It's just everything that's happened in the entirety of football this week. Me and Ash are going to talk about it. Not only all of the things that have happened, but the things that are going to happen. Now, obviously, we're going to start with my team, Manchester United, because it's my channel. We are also going to talk about Newcastle. We are also going to talk about Arsenal. We are also going to talk about the Forest outcome. If anybody remembers, maybe a week ago, I did a video saying that Forest had gone and sent off to the PGMOL that they wanted information on the decisions made in their match against Manchester City. They wanted the audio recordings from the referees, and we now have the outcome of their request. I suppose I don't know what else to call it, because they didn't appeal anything. They were like, you messed up. We want you to admit that you messed up. So with the outcome of that, we're going to be talking about the FA Cup, and then we're going to be doing our Premier League predictions. So we're feeling up to it, people. Please do give us a like, because we are going to need all of your fuel and support to get us through. Bored Dave Boy is in the house. I will tell you what, Dave Boy, everybody's so committed here. We have so many regulars, but Dave Boy, it doesn't matter where this man is. He is on the stream, traveling, bus stations, work, any pub he can find. It doesn't matter. Dave Boy is in the show. So, Ash, the Manchester United manager. Now, as you saw, I did a stream the other day.
You did.
And I did it before the Burnley match, because I was like, I am excited and I am not letting anything steal this thunder. So then it didn't matter what happened to Burnley. I enjoyed that stream. So I was such a happy camper. But Ash, so many things have come out since. There's so many mean people on the internet, and I'm not being funny. Like, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a living legend. What he did for this club was exceptional. And some of the slander that I am seeing for this man by United fans disgusts me. Sorry if we have some of those people in the audience, but I genuinely, it is not fathomable to me. Now, as everybody knows, I love Solskjaer. Nothing will ever change that. There is no, I'm just not having it. I love him, and that's it. But I understand for some people, he's just a player because they didn't experience what I experienced. Like, I was watching that match, and I remember he's coming on. I'm nearly crying as a child because I know. And I remember I said it to my dad when he was coming on. I was like, we're going to win. I know it. Look, Ollie's coming on. We can do it, because I loved him so much. Even from that, I love him. Like, and then he come on and we did do it. And then I'm jumping up and down on the sofa with my dad, like crying. You don't understand the love that I have for this man. Okay.
So what I've taken from this, you're not biased in any sort of way.
Oh, I'm very biased, and I make no apologies. Now, Streets, and now I see lovely Alanma is saying hello to Lady Lou and to Ash. Streets is on my bandwagon though. Ollie deserves serious respect. We saw the best of the players we had over the years, even ones we didn't believe in. Correct and right. Gav is in the house and he's saying you could not love him as a player and a man. And that is also correct. But what I will say, because I'm going, Ash, I'm going to do something. I'm going to try really bloody hard, okay? I understand not everybody loves Solskjaer as much as me. Okay, I am aware of that.
That could be a potential. that could potentially be an option.
And I'm also aware that for some people, because they didn't experience what I experienced, we all experience things differently in different ways at different ages, right? I have the best core memory. Did everybody see, what's that movie where your emotions, Inside Out, the kids' animated movie where the emotions are little people? Did everybody see Inside Out?
I can't stop doing that though.
Ash! It's a fantastic movie. Inside Out. It's basically about.
Oh wait, no, I know I have seen this actually.
The little red angry character, the little
where they go into like save memories and stuff, and they put them in
like a
machine.
Yeah. No, and then they talk about core memories that you create as a child, and they're the ones you keep. So for me, that was a core.
That film kind of scared me, you know. Because I was like, what if that
excellent movie?
It worried me, because I was like, what if that's actually true? Like, what if that's what's going on in your head?
Do you not have the little people in your head, Ash?
Well, that you talk to. I mean, the medication helps that.
But so, say I'm going to give people an example. So, for example, for me, Rashford is just a player. He's just a guy who played for us. Okay, he came through the youth. He's quite talented. He misbehaved. He's gone. I don't feel any way about it. I don't want him back. I don't care. For some people, that is unfathomable because they love Rashford. They grew up with Rashford. Rashford was their guy. And so some people can't understand how I feel about Rashford, because for them, Rashford is phenomenal. Okay, they think he's the guy and we mistreated him. Mm. So I understand that for some people, they don't feel how I feel about Ollie. I think Ollie's the best thing ever. Ever. The only thing that would be better than bringing Ollie back would be bringing Ollie and Roy back together. Honestly, it's the only thing that would trump it.
What about Fergie?
What about Fergie?
You said that Ollie's the best thing ever. Surely the Fergie era was the best thing ever.
Ollie didn't get us sold to the Glazers for a horse. Ollie didn't leave a sinking ship like a dirty rat. Ollie didn't slander Roy Keane for wanting better for his club. And while I think Sir Alex Ferguson is the best manager to have ever managed in the Premier League, I don't love him anywhere near as much as Ollie. And I'm very clear on that. And again, no apologies.
So it's more to do with sentiment, how you feel towards the person, rather than, like, say, achievements. Is that what I'm taking from that? Like how you feel towards Ollie over what they've achieved?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not saying Ollie achieved more than Sir Alex. I mean, I love him, but I'm not completely insane. I'm deluded. I'm not insane.
No, I'm saying...
Let's draw the line between deluded and insane. I understand that Sir Alex Ferguson was a better manager than Ollie. No, I can draw that line.
No, that's fine. So for me... Ollie,
yes, I was doing that build up to ask you. Actually, that's where I was trying to go, but I got so distracted with my love.
I know you just staring at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer on your
I love him. I'm going to need to get a picture here. Just Ollie.
just get him on your monitor. Your background.
No, because we never talk about anything else. Oh,
just have him over a cup of tea.
Guess is always on it. Always on it with the links. Good woman yourself, Guess. Right. But yeah, so anyway, right. I'm going to do this in a logical way. So there's people that want Ole back like me. There's people that don't want Ole back and are completely disrespecting and rewriting what he achieved. Now, see if people say, look, I don't want Ole back because I don't think he can get us to a Premier League. I would say fair enough. What I'm not saying is fair enough is people distorting what happened when he was here the first time. That's not cool to suit what you want to say. But I understand there are people who think, look, we've done that, we've tried it, we got rid of him, let's try something else, let's bring in Carrick. There's some people I saw talking about Ruud. There's some people saying give Fletcher a go. I understand, while I disagree with, I understand that there's alternative options that people like, but it seemed to be basically done the other day, and now apparently we're in talks. So I was just on that, what it looks like.
So just on that, I want to understand before we talk about that. Are you just on? Are you on about as a long-term manager or an interim? Because there's also a difference here with what you're talking about. Because
there is a difference. Do you want me to lie, or do you want me to just tell you what I think?
Because I have a feeling that your idea is Ole for a long-term manager, which, like I said, you can think that's a fair enough thing, because I don't think he did terribly.
I would be, honestly, initially, I would want him back as until the summer, initially, because I would want to see that player power doesn't grow under him again. Because I don't think it was his fault that player power grew. I think it had already taken root. And I think the board that were in place at the time didn't weed it out. And I think then he gets blamed for player power growing when actually it was already there. Because if player power wasn't, like, we never would have sacked Jose if there was no player power. So player power was, Ole gets blamed for player power when actually it was there before he arrived. It was a problem off the board. But what I would like to see is Ole under this board to be sure that it's not going to grow again. So initially I would want him in an interim basis. If he came back, performed as well as he did the first time, they didn't force a Ronaldo type signing on him, and they actually didn't allow player power to grow again, then yeah, I would want him long term, because I think the things that actually detrimentally impacted him the first time around, after going on the Premier League record for unbeaten run away from home, was Ronaldo being brought back, which completely disrupted what he was doing, and player power. So if those things are addressed the second time round, what's to stop him? Because that's what stopped him the first time. So if that's gone, what's going to stop him? People who undermine his tactics, I mean, if he can out-tactic Pep.
It's, so where I sit with this, it's an interesting one, because, so, like, the reason why I asked you that question before was because the likes of Keane, Carrick, Fletcher, all these, I say, are 100% interim managers. Yeah. I would only put them under there because I would be unsure how they would be in the long term. Granted, Carrick potentially has a great style of football. However, I would say for Man United, you'd want to get a better manager. Ole is an interesting one, because obviously, if he shows exactly what he did in the last interim period, that was unbelievable. And obviously, that was the reason why he ended up getting the permanent job, was because of what he did during that time. The bit where I stand is, who would you get if you didn't have Ole? Is it, so how I always like to see things, Ole, I think, is a great manager, to be honest. I actually do. I do like Ole as a manager. Do I think he is at the level of someone like Luis Enrique? No. So where I sit, if you go to summertime, I think there's going to be a couple of clubs that are going to be looking for new managers, potentially Liverpool. Yeah. So you've got to be thinking they're also going to be going for these managers. But like I said, like Marv saying there, Nagelsmann, Xavi, Poch. I don't think, I wouldn't say Poch is better than Solskjaer, if I'm being honest. I would probably put them. I would probably put Xavi, Poch, Solskjaer on a similar level. I'm a big fan of Xavi, if I'm being honest. Xavi Alonso, it looks very, very good. Xavi and flipping Xavi Alonso, they both look very, very good. So it's an interesting one, but that's what I mean. It's like it all depends on who's open in the market. So I think if you look at the likes of Unai Emery, potentially Obviously, you've got the likes of Glasner and all that. I think they're all on a very similar level to Solskjaer.
I spoke to Glasner. I spoke about. I was just chatting. I spoke about Glasner before, because obviously he was doing so well where he is, and I did a video on him and Areola like at the start of the season. But actually, and I like what he's done to date. I think he's a good manager, but he does predominantly play the three at the back. Now, he's more adaptable than the managers we've had, but he predominantly plays the three at the back. And I'll be honest with you, I am done with three at the back. Well, I don't think that's the reason that Amram failed, but I didn't like it. I don't think it suits United. I don't think it suits the players we have. I don't want another manager where that's their predominant style. I just don't want it. And that there's no logic to that. I didn't like it, so I don't want it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So Lou, I'll say this. So where I sit, if Manchester United, by the time it comes to summer, if say you have Solskjaer until summer, it gets to summertime, they then are looking for other managers, and you're approaching the likes of Nagelsmann, Luis Enrique, like managers of that caliber. I think yes, get them in and over Solskjaer. But I think if you're looking at the likes of De Zerbi, like all these other managers, I think they're on a very similar level to Solskjaer. Yeah. So personally, I would say it's probably best to have someone like Solskjaer that knows the club inside and out and has so much passion for it. So,
and he loves the club. He loves the club as much as we do. I remember after he came second in the Premier League, he did a speech saying how that wasn't good enough and he understands that our fans expect more. We then replaced him and we had a guy that was offering to quit every 3 weeks. I mean, and then, right, do you know what it is? I just find the standards for Ole are so unfair. So when Amram was finishing in 15th, I've seen huge shirts. I'm ignoring him completely. He's in the bold corner. But like when we had Amram finishing in 15th, people were like, oh, but he's making progress. And I agree, he was changing things behind the scenes. But then when there's talk of Ole coming back, it's a case of, oh, well, he's never going to win the Premier League. Right, well, either was Amram, either was Eric Ten Hag, either is most of these managers people are talking about. None of them are going to come in to this Manchester United and win the Premier League. So why is that the standard for Ole? Because it's not the standard for anybody else, which I just think it's mental. If you're going to compare like for like. Can Ole get us Champions League football, which was what most fans wanted from Amram? If Amram had stayed for the rest of the season and got Champions League football, that would have been considered a success. So if Ole comes in and gets Champions League football, why is that not a success?
Yeah. No, it is. And I think that's why I try to lay it out in that respect, that I think Ole is under the elite level. However, if you're talking about potentially getting the likes of De Zerbi and these managers in, I put them on the exact same level as them. So that's why that's my only qualm that I have in with the conversation about Man United's next manager, when people talk about that and they say, oh, well, what about if you get Glasner in or someone like this? And it's like, well, but the issue is they're still not necessarily proven managers. They're at the similar sort of level as Ole. Yeah. I don't hire Glasner thinking that you're hiring Pep, because you're not. You're hiring someone at a lower level, so expect a bit lower.
Unless we get someone who is proven to be drastically better than Ole, I don't want them. That's my attitude. And I have yet to see someone suggested that would be a better interim manager, a better caretaker manager than Ole. Ole already has the best record of any interim ever in the Premier League. So, I mean, I would think he's the most qualified guy to take it. I see where people are coming from in they're concerned and people don't like going back to what was perceived should not work before. My comeback, I suppose, to that, and the reason I don't have that opinion, is because he's not coming back under the same parameters. He's coming back under a completely different set of circumstances. And I think the things that undone him before won't be there this time. Do you know what I mean?
No.
What I will say, I want to jump through some comments, because I know there's some comments in there, and we do have quite a few United heads in the chat, so I don't want to ignore people. And then I have a question for you. specifically for Ash. I've saved it for you right till the end, because after this, because I've talked about this so much, until there's a decision, because I'm going to talk about it more, I don't want to go over and over it because I'm going to bore people to death, and I don't want to do that because I like to talk. Let's be fair. Right, so I'm scrolling up so I don't miss anyone. Oh, I see Ultra. Ultra is in the house. He is saying evening to me and to you. I think, Marv is in the house. Shampers for Marv. Everybody's saying hi, hi, hi. Guess is the link for your channeling. Marv is saying Ollie is a good nostalgia choice, but a different non-ex player interim might be good for us. I understand why people feel that way. Why does it have to be an ex-player? I actually like the fact that it's somebody that completely understands the club, because I think while Amram did make some improvements in the back end, and I really think he made some improvements in the back end, I think the problem a lot of fans did have with him, or people that wanted him out, felt he didn't understand the club and he was taking away some of the identity that we have as a club. And I think that has been stripped back over the years. So I think what appeals to a lot of us about Ollie is the fact that he does know the club, and the fact that he is an ex-player, and the love that he has for the club. Because when your manager loves the club, it instills it into the other people and the players around them. Do you know what I mean? Because it's contagious, that kind of love. But I disagree with it, but I understand the other side. I try very hard because I really do love him. Let me see. Oh, no. Are you picking on our Dave boy? Let me see. Marva saying hi. Just everybody saying hi. Yeah. Ollie did really well to manage the player power issue, considering he had absolutely no backing whatsoever. And that's why I would like to see him in the circumstances where he has the backing that the likes of an Eric Ten Hag and an Amram have had. Let me see. Let me see, who else have we got? Just everybody's chatting to each other, and I don't want to pull up. Do you know yourself when you're chatting in the comments, and then half of your conversations get pulled up, and you're like, no, but that's completely out of context. You missed the 7 messages before it. So I am trying to pull comments that aren't completely out of context for people's conversation. And we're talking about bailiffs and hotel rooms and kisses. So I am trying to be very careful about what I pull out here. Olanma is saying, and Olanma is Liverpool. So Olanma's saying that it's not the best situation that United are in, and there's a lot to ponder. Let me see. We said hello to Huge. I'm going to bring it up in the interest of trying to be fair on this. Huge says no to Ollie, which breaks my heart a wee bit.
But like I said, I
have to be fair.
What on that? Well, I want him to clarify.
Yeah.
Just quickly, shots. If you can put in the comments, are you saying no to Ollie for long term or just interim or both? Because I would like to know that, because like I said, I think it's important to clarify. Make that, because like I said, he did do both, and in my eyes, like I said, I think so. You do think both? Okay, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. But look, as I said, I understand not everybody loves him as much as me. But look, okay. It's okay, Hugh. I won't cry. Not on camera. After, I'll go cry. Let me see. What else? Let me see. Guess is saying she reckons Ollie can get us into Europe. I agree. Marv is saying any good proven manager won't want to come because of our owners on board and how they do business. And then I suppose in the same way we're saying who would want to go to Chelsea when they see people the way they're being treated, who will want to go to Forest when we see the way they're being treated, people are starting to ask, well, who would want to go to Man United? Anybody who wants a quick payout.
Oh, listen, I was going to say Amram probably did the best promotion that Man United's ever going to get, because if you do bad in your job, they're going to get you gone. You've just made over £10 million. So
easy. Let me see, who else have we got? Oh, Huge, come on now. This is a nonsense. No, I'm not having this. I'm absolutely not having this. Ole had 28 points in the first 19 games in the 1920 season. We were terrible, and then we got Bruno, and he saved our season. It wasn't Ole that was good, but Bruno. Absolutely not. I'm not having that. I am not having that.
So he's also put here, I think Ole would want a long-term job. You see,
Ole does want a long-term job. He has.
Of course he will. No, but of course he will, because he had it before. But like I said, that this is where I sit. I would say I would have this as him being the interim manager till summer, and it would be like an asterisk if we aren't able to get a better manager, then potentially he can stay on. But if you're going to get the likes of someone like Luis Enrique or someone in, then I think that's the sort of route you would end up having to go down. But like people are really not understanding. There's not amazing managers in world football right now. There really isn't.
Even if there was, right, but this is what's bothering me. See, if somebody said, look, I don't think Ole's the guy, I don't think he can do better than he did before, I don't think he can recreate what he did before, fair enough, that's an opinion. But saying that what Ole did wasn't Ole, that he wasn't doing the coaching Carrick and McKenna were, even though Carrick has come out and said that his coaching style is based on Ole's, which would mean he was watching Ole coach. So factually, that's just incorrect. And then to say that Ole didn't do any of the coaching, he didn't improve us, it was actually Bruno. Bruno's the reason that I'm sorry. First of all, there's not one single team in the Premier League that's a one-man team, not even Manchester City. I'm not buying that. When Bruno come in, he was fantastic for us. I'm not denying that Bruno added a huge amount. But to say that Bruno is the reason we improved and Ole, the manager, the coach, the head coach, had nothing to do with it, I just think you're either being willfully ignorant or you're being influenced by people on social media saying it over and over again. Because there's no way one single player is the reason that a manager did.
No.
I mean,
the thing is, right?
Not an opinion, it's factually incorrect.
The thing is, like, right, so you guys had Bruno. He had one GA every game for like 2 or 3 seasons. But that's because he was being played in a position and he was bought in to do that. It's like saying, oh, we bought Haaland, he's scoring a goal every game. So that's why you bought him. That's why you got him as a player. Like, it's about a manager to be able to get the best out of that player, which he clearly did to Bruno.
Ole is able to get the best, and Ole was able to get stuff out of Bruno that no manager's got out of him since. Because let's face it, Bruno has dropped off a cliff, even in his position. He's not been playing as well. So, like, Ole got the best out of the players he had available to him.
I definitely disagree with that point. I think you can make an argument. There's definitely arguments to make about not having Ole as your manager, but stating about Bruno being carrying and stuff is definitely not the hill to die on, I don't think.
No, and so Hugh just come back and said, no, he didn't say that. He thinks Ole did do a good job, but Bruno carried him. But I still disagree, because that's like saying Erling Haaland is carrying Pep. That's like saying Salah carried Klopp. But
it's like saying, then why is he not carried all other managers then by that point? Like, it doesn't, like, you can't, like, that point is very obsolete to me, because then it'd be like, oh, well, in that case, then that means that he would have carried Ten Hag, he would have carried Amorim, and he hasn't done. So I think that point is not true.
I completely disagree. I think it's factually incorrect. What I will just say, though, because I want to make it clear to Huge, please don't run away. I completely disagree with you, but you're still very welcome in the chat.
Oh, no. Well, at the end of the day,
we want to hear the other opinions. With this one, I think it's really unfair, and I think it really undermines the work that Ole did. And I think people seem determined to undermine it. He wasn't coaching the team. He wasn't doing the tactics. He was just a yes man. He was too nice. He was too naive. He was just a PE teacher. He didn't do it. Bruno carried the team. There just seems to be this thing of undermining everything that Ole did, instead of just saying, do you know what? He did a really good job. He did a really good job. He fell off. I don't think he can recreate it. I don't want him back. But
Look, it's important though, isn't it? Though to have different opinions, and
no, 100%.
This is what I would love people to do. Like, put in the comments, like, especially like Man United fans, like say Sharks or whatever. Like, put who you would want instead, because that's something that, like I said, I'm intrigued of. Like, you can even separate it to be like who you want as your interim, and then who you'd want in summer. Like, it's important to have different opinions, because at the end of the day, none of us are going to be right. Like, it's going to be very
opinion. It's just opinion.
It's very difficult to know who's going to be the next best manager. It takes time. Like, and to be honest, like, in all honesty, Man United's probably not going to find another Sir Alex Ferguson in anyone here's lifetime. Like,
no. I wouldn't want them to, because as much as Sir Alex Ferguson was hugely successful and he did so much for Manchester United, he was not perfect by any means, and he did a lot of stuff I disagreed with as well, to be fair. But Gav is saying here about Bruno that his form has dropped off from he was made captain. I do think his form has dropped off from he was made captain, and I think it was the same thing with Maguire. Maguire has been more of a leader since the captaincy was taken off him than he ever was when he was actually captain. I do think the captaincy affects it, and I do think a lot of people don't like the way Bruno captains the team, and I think that takes away. However, I do also think his play, his form has dropped off as well, but I also think that's his age. I also think that, like, no player stays at that level forever. Yeah. So I think it's a number of factors. I
think another one. I think me and you are both being on the same boat with this, that we don't think Bruno's actually a manager level. Like, his play, yes, but his antics outside of play, no. Yeah. Someone more like Delay or someone like that is much more of a manager, much more of a captain. So, like I said, for me personally, I think players like that, it's important to maybe take away the captaincy and just allow them to have the free roam that they can do, because that's what some players that's what some players are.
Yeah, because it's a completely different thing. But now Streets has said Bruno's never really dropped off. He was a middleman in that Ole team. Under Ten Hag and Amram, his role slightly changed, but performance levels stayed the same, in my opinion. I disagree with that. Now, there's a whole lot of people that agree with you. I do think on the Bruno stuff, I am very much in the minority. Obviously, the change in position, particularly under Amram, has impacted his performances. But I think he would naturally start to drop off anyway, because I think when he come in at the first season, 2 seasons, he was on such a high. He was. It would have been extraordinary to maintain that. So I think he was always going to drop off a bit. I think he's been hindered then by the change of position, as I said, particularly under Amram. But that actually goes back to the point we were saying of Ole knew how to manage him and get the best out of him. So he had this player at his disposal and he got the best out of him, which shows he's a good man manager, because your job as a manager is to do the best with what you have. Your job, particularly at United, if you're not going to get signing. So essentially, the reason Amram didn't want to stay was because he wanted signings and the board said, no, you have to get better out of what you have. If you want a manager who can get better out of what he's already got, we know Ole can do that. We know Ole can get more out of less. So if what Ineos are saying is you have to get more out of what you've got, I just think actually that more so is a reason for Ole, because we know he can do that.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to fly through a few more of these and then I want to move on to a new topic. But I don't want to leave anyone. Hugh just come back to us. He says, I like Ole and he did a lot of good things. We needed him to create a good environment after Jose. It was a good thing, but we can't build a project around Ole. That's insane. Well, I think it's insane to say that you can't build a project around him. So we'll have to just agree to disagree. Let me see. Alanma was saying she didn't like the way he was treated by certain press. She's talking to Flossie, so I'm not sure if she is talking about Ole, but I'm assuming so. Dave Boy is saying if Keane was interim, the interviews would be fantastic. Talk about box office. It would be like the second coming of Jose. What's he going to say next? Let me see. What else? Jim wants a Father Dougal Maguire. Marva's saying, Ollie did a great job as interim and it would be nice to see him come back, but it would really be crappy to see him come back, do terrible with this crap squad, knock out a midfield, and then he's blamed. He's getting blamed anyway, so I'd let him have a second whack at it, but I understand. And I do think there's people that don't want to see him put through the mill again, because the media were hard on him, the fans were hard on him, the standard for him seems to be completely different than for anyone else. And I think if either Erik ten Hag or Ruben Amorim had done what Ollie's done and got third and second, they'd be building statues. But when Ollie did it, it wasn't good enough. So I don't really understand that kind of it feels like a whip on it.
Well, I think the issue is, right, you guys were still living off the high of Sir Alex Ferguson and that era.
Yeah.
And I think since then, you guys have just kept on just going down and down. So your expectations have changed since then.
Yeah,
so I think...
but the expectation under Ollie doesn't seem to have. So, like, it was fine for Amorim to get 15, but Ollie has to win the Premier League. And that's what I don't understand. The standards for Ollie seem to be significantly different than for anybody else. And I just don't understand it.
I also do think there's a part of, say, there was also the understanding to do with, say, Amorim, that his system was completely different to what you were doing. So everyone knew that things were going to have to be changed and there was going to be some downtimes for that. Yeah. But yeah, there's people are always going to have different standards for different players and managers. It's just the way it goes.
That's fair. Now, Gav is saying, this is obviously about Bruno, take the pressure of the captaincy off him and focus on ball and nothing else. And look, as I've said, that did wonders for Maguire.
100%.
Now, Gab has had to love us and leave us. He has popped off to do some moderating duties elsewhere, but it was nice of him to join us.
I thought you said modelling duties. I was like, go on, Gab.
Okay. Right, let's go. Next. Because the question. I have a question, and then we're moving to the next topic. So, Ash, Roy Keane came out with a comment. Have you seen it?
I have.
And will we just tell the people what Roy Keane thinks?
What he thinks and what is actually going to happen is two completely different things.
Oh basically, I don't think it's in any way likely to happen whatsoever. But I just thought it was very interesting because he was very complimentary.
Yeah. Basically, he would like Eddie Howe.
Yes. So Roy Keane, when he was asked who he thought would be the manager or who could be a manager, because I think a lot of the ex-players don't seem keen on Ollie coming back. And I think they're not keen because they want to protect him. They don't want him to have to go through what he went through before. Because they're his friends. They don't want to see him suffer and be criticised. But he did then say, when he was asked, well, okay, who would you like? Who do you think would be good? He said that he thinks Eddie Howe would be fantastic for Man United. He'd be a very good fit. He likes his style of play, and he thinks he could do well with this squad.
I agree.
He said that on,
But the thing is, though, like, of course, me as being a Newcastle fan, I'm always going to say I 100% agree with this because Eddie Howe's style of football, and he's proven to be a good manager. Like all Eddie Howe has done through his managerial career is year on, year out, improve. Like he keeps on getting better goals. He keeps on reaching higher targets. That's why he has so much credit in the bank for us. And he's probably the best English manager that we've seen in God knows how long. And he's still young. I'm pretty sure he's only 48 now, I think, off the top of my head. He's
quite young, isn't it? I thought he was older than that.
Oh, no. So literally, as he stopped being a player, he went straight into managerial. And then he went over to Spain to study under Simeone for a bit. So he was basically with Simeone for, I think, about a year or two to basically understand and improve how to do it. It was after he was the manager at Bournemouth, and then he came to us after that, which I will say he's the type of manager that just gets his head down. He knows what he wants. He's incredibly good with players. He's incredibly good with the media. He's got an incredible style of play. I think he would be amazing at Man United, but the problem is I don't think he's going to go there. I'm very happy he did a press conference the other day. He got asked a question because he was being linked to the Chelsea job as well. Which the issue is, right, these names, these good managers, their names are going to get bounced around, like Unai Emery's have done, Eddie Howe's has done. Of course, I'll say Glasner, all these other managers that are potentially the next best thing, their names are going to get thrown into the mix for stuff like this. But he basically just shut down all the comments and said he's got 100% focus to Newcastle. So
you've answered Alana's question kind of ahead of it being asked. Hi Ash, would Eddie take Man United? So based on his comments, no, he wouldn't. He would be only interested in Newcastle at the moment. When he is in the house, says he's only got 5 to 10 minutes. Did he miss the rant? This is a 2-hour-long rant, my wee friend. Come, go join anytime you like. There's going to be full-on ranting. But yes, I have talked about Manchester United, if that's what you're asking.
So now, I will say, so Lou said this thing the other day. She said, if you ever want to listen back to her videos, put it on 2 times and see how she sounds. However, what you can do, you can buy YouTube Premium and you can actually go up to 3 times. So try to listen to this on 3 times, because God, that's going to be a madness.
I speak so fast. I don't mean to, but people tell me that I speak really fast. And so sometimes I become aware of it because people tell me. And then I'm like, I know sometimes if I'm trying to catch up on a stream, I'm like, I listen to it faster, and some people speak too fast. You can't listen to them on 2 speed. But can you imagine? Now, we are going to move on. I can't keep talking about Ollie. I've done me Ollie business for now. But we're staying sort of slightly on Manchester United, but it's more about the match that happened with us recently with a disappointing result, but we're not actually here to talk about the result. What I would like to talk about is
the performance, maybe.
No, absolutely not. I don't
Shea Lacey.
Oh, I do like Shea Lacey. Shea Lacey is brilliant, but
did you see him in the training ground?
No.
Oh my God. You can probably look this up.
The goal, the kind of the way he carves it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's unreal. I don't know why he wasn't getting minutes under Amram. And he was on the bench under Amram multiple times and was never played. Once. Mental. But no, and we need to focus because we're way behind. We're way behind schedule already. This is why I shouldn't. 40 minutes with about 10 topics to do, lads. I hope everybody really did get beverages because we're going to need some. But no, what I would like to talk about is this man, right? Let's pull this up. Can I share? By this man, by the way, I mean Kyle Walker. I was like, I should probably let people know what I actually mean. So what I thought
you were still looking at a picture of Ollie, to be honest.
Imagine. I need to put it on the screen, don't I, so people can see it. Now, let's look at this. Now, I have a few things. I've been saving things for us to talk about. This is Kyle Walker's foot on the back of Patrick Dorgu's leg. See where the ball is and see where his foot is.
Did you see Dorgu's face after this?
Yeah, but Dorgu is such an honest player. Bless him. Dorgu was the guy we were to get a penalty, and Dorgu went to the referee and was like, nah, man, that wasn't a penalty. Dorgu is the most honest player on the planet, okay? So if this guy gets stamped on, he's not faking it. He didn't roll around. He didn't get dramatic. And because he didn't roll around and get dramatic, nothing. There was nothing at all.
No, I understand.
I wasn't very pleased with Mr. Docker the other day, but this is coming from him, so look, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. The FA cannot investigate or pursue retrospective action against Kyle Walker for his stamp on Patrick Dorgu, as the incident was deemed to have been seen by the officials at the time. Okay, well, can we investigate why the officials seen this at the time and didn't do anything about it, please? Because that also seems like their job. So can we, if we're not going to investigate the incident, can we investigate why nothing was done about the incident? Because to me, this seems quite violent, not to mention that the same absolute moron threw himself on the ground in the penalty area in order to get one of our goals chalked off. Now, have I got that? I might not have that. I probably can't play that. Oh yeah, right. We're not allowed to play that because I'll get myself in trouble.
With stuff like that, I just pull the bar across and you can see different points of it.
Let's see. Can we make it big? Right. So I'm just going to now. Right, here we are. And I'm just trying to get to the right spot, people. So as you can see, there's his foot right on his leg, okay? And then if we go forward, he looks Where are we? He realizes we've got a VAR. And then look, he just sort of pats him down. He's like, "Oh, it's all right. It's all right. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to stand on your leg."
I just can't get over Dorgu's face when he's on the ground after it happens. He just turns around like
you can't be serious.
Did you actually just do it? Well, the thing is, right, I understand the reason why maybe it wasn't given at the time, because evidently Kyle Walker was trying to get the ball. Are you allowed to stamp on someone's back of the leg? No.
He's trying to get the ball, is he?
Well, if you watch,
blind, did he have temporary blindness? Did he lose spatial awareness? He can't tell the difference between a leg and a football.
You can see from the video what he tries to do. He tries to like kind of backheel the ball away because obviously it's getting blocked. But that's what I'm saying is you take that away from it, whether he tried to do it or not. You can't step on someone's back of the leg. That's what I'm saying. Regardless of the intent, that's still serious like foul misconduct like that.
Absolutely.
That's where like that's where I think you should draw the line, because of course that's the problem.
It's mental is what it is. But the fact then that the same player threw himself on the ground. So I don't have the footage, obviously, or I actually don't even have a picture, but I'm sure most people saw it, of the interaction between Kyle Walker and Martinez.
Yeah.
Which ended up with our goal getting chalked off. First of all, shouldn't be a penalty. Just absolutely shouldn't be a penalty. Have you seen the size of Martinez? I mean, the amount of slander that this man had to listen to about how small he was, and he was too small to be a defender in the Premier League, and he couldn't do this because he was too teeny tiny. Well, Tiny Tim was able to throw Kyle Walker on the ground. Have we lost our minds? And you actually see the moment, because there's a bit of back and forth, and you see multiple players in the box at each other, and actually several of their players were pulling out of our players. Casemiro got absolutely whacked out of it. Nothing for that. Apparently, out of all the players that were pulling out of each other, the only foul that was given was the one for Kyle Walker. And it's because you see the moment where he dives, he throws himself on the ground. And we just compare, Kyle Walker was thrown on the ground by Martinez, or you have this, because Dorgu didn't roll around screaming, nothing was given for this. It's insane. Well, no,
it's like I said, these are the problems that this stuff happens. That's why, that's what I said when Voltemado got forearmed in the face. He even came out afterwards and he was asked, like, he's very much one of those players that doesn't dive and doesn't do stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Whereas if he went down and jumped on the floor, like complained about getting hit in the face, VAR will have to stop the game. Everyone will have to stop to actually, and there's more likely that there'll be a red card. We've
spoken about this. It encourages players to be dramatic and throw themselves on the ground and try and win their Oscar for acting, because they have to, because if they don't, they're not taken seriously otherwise. This
is why I'm at the point where, like I've said, I want VAR to start being at a point where they should start giving yellow cards for stuff like this. Like if a referee doesn't see it somehow, like from a corner, give a yellow card. I'm also fed up of referees stopping the play at a corner to go over and tell someone off because they're fouling someone. If they're fouling someone, that's a foul. You don't just be like, do you know what? Let's stop the ball. I'm going to tell you off for fouling someone, and then we can carry on playing. Like, it's just happens. It happens too much, and I don't like that stuff. Like, people just need to stop diving, because it creates the exact thing like what happened with Martinelli yesterday, where he thought that was a dive.
Yeah, now we're going to get to that. I know we'll get to that. A whole section on that. But Andrew's correct, because I spoke about this with Ekitike. Ekitike was being pulled down, stayed on his feet, and because he stayed on his feet, got nothing for it, because he was honest. Yeah. And that's the thing. Patrick Dorgu, an honest player. Ekitike, an honest player. What do they get for being honest? Nothing. What does Kyle Walker get for acting like a bloody toe rag and throwing himself on the ground with theatrics? He gets a goal chalked off. So we are rewarding the bad behavior. Is there, like, why wouldn't a player do it? Why wouldn't a player do it when bad behavior is rewarded, the simulation is rewarded? Like, he should have actually got a card for simulation, is what should have happened. but instead he got a goal chalked off. And the two honest players, and Ekitike, I specifically remember that, Andrew, so you're correct. I think I actually spoke about that in the reaction at the time. And it really annoys me because you're rewarding bad behaviour, and I just think you wouldn't do that with a child. Do you know what I mean? Like, back to basics, you don't reward bad behaviour. Like, bad reinforcement, good reinforcement, it's absolute silliness. But I want to scroll up here. We're going to go through some comments, and then I'm going to talk there through Fletcher's comment on it. But with so many comments, and I've missed so many people. Okay, so I've got some of these. Let me see, what else have we got? All right, we've got some of these. I've scrolled too far. I've scrolled way too far. Right, there is Winnie with us. Right, Streets Ultra is having a cup of tea. Good stuff. What else are we doing? Streets is saying Lacey is a top talent. He absolutely is. Winnie is saying Ollie is very likable. Yes, he is. What else? Streets is saying for the stamp on Dorgu's leg, it should have been a red. Absolutely. And I'll tell you something. Do you see if Martinez had stood on someone's leg like that? If Casemiro had stood on someone's leg like that, they would have got reds. I feel like you do get different treatment depending on the player. And it's just another example of it. When he says he's just giving him a massage with his boot, there's nothing in it for him. Yeah, well, thank God we know you're joking. All right, there would have been a rant there.
The problem is that, like I said, I think he's 100% trying to get the ball out. But the problem is he's done it by stepping on the back of his leg. And that doesn't excuse what his intention was. So
I think initially it was accidental. I think as it continued, it became on purpose. And I think he was going to do worse until he remembered that VAR was there.
Yeah, probably.
You see it flicker.
I think a lot of players like this, they get heated in the moment as well.
Yeah. Now, Streets is saying, love Dorgu, so hardworking. Do you know what? I think he's actually drastically improved. And do you know what I think the best thing is? He's been played on the wings. He's been playing further up the pitch, the right and the left. I think the right actually suits him more. But even on the left, further up, he has been so much better from he's been played further up the pitch. So much better. I'm delighted for him. Let me see. We talked about the Ekitike one. Yes, huge. The ridiculous disallowed goal. I did speak about that. Maybe my rant wasn't long enough. Maybe I need to talk about it more. I honestly, Kyle Walker, he's on my hit list. I have a 2-person hit list at the moment.
Do you
Kyle
know what
Walker and the blonde boy, Hughes at Palace.
Will Hughes, yeah. Do you know what does? Do you know what does make me laugh? The fact that, say, Kyle Walker doesn't get a red card for that, but Jack Grealish got a second yellow, which turned to a red because he clapped at the referee.
There you go. Ridiculous.
It's just
ridiculous.
I just hate referees. I really do.
Do you remember Dallo got the quickest ever red card from 2 yellows?
Yeah, I do remember that.
but again, it was for a bit of bad manners. It was for a bit of cheek to the ref. It was for dissent. So we're handing out yellows like that, like bloody confetti. Yeah. And Kyle Walker can stand on somebody's leg and there's nothing. And that's where people have a problem. How can you say there's no bias when you give a yellow for mouthing off or for clapping sarcastically? So you can get a yellow for clapping sarcastically, but you cannot get a yellow if you stand on someone's leg.
The worst thing is that's a second yellow as well, so we got sent off for it, which is like, this is why I'm just thinking it's absolutely crazy, this stuff. Like, VAR is good. Like, I think as a whole, what VAR is intentionally does, what it actually does, where it picks out, say, offsides and stuff and does whatever, sees things that the referees don't see. As a whole, I think VAR is good. But I think what it's done, like I've said for years, it's made referees become lazy and become worse at refereeing and doing their job. And we're seeing it year on, year out now. Standard of refereeing is getting worse and worse. It really
is. They're getting lazy, 100%. Dave Boy says he only dives on the ground and stamps his feet when the landlord calls for last orders. We have Ginniesta in the house. So you have a bit more backup, Ash. You have a bit more backup in the chat. There's Flossie and Ginniesta now to have your back. Ginniesta is saying, we saw it with Sabazlai yesterday. He got pulled backwards and didn't get a free kick because he wasn't falling to the ground. And that's another example. If you're honest, honesty doesn't pay off. The reason these players are theatrical the way they are is because that is what's being rewarded. And that is the only way to get the attention of the referee. And while the referees don't reward the honest players and they reward the theatrics, that's going to keep happening.
Did you see the first? Actually, I'm just intrigued. Did you see the first red card that Keane got in that game?
No. Was Keane's one the hair pulling?
The hair pull, yeah.
No, I did see that. I did actually see that. We'll get to that in a wee minute because I want to fly these. I want to read the quotes here and then we'll talk about that. And then I will go to the next one. People, please do. I see people are coming in and out, obviously jumping on and off. Please do smash a like on the video as you're passing through. Drop a sweet comment. Let us know what you think. We will be going through all the topics and teams. So, at one point, I'm going to figure out how to do, they're not called bookmarks. What do you call them? The timestamps. At some point, one of these days, I'm going to figure out how to do timestamps because I do try and do, okay, this team, for the most part. I try, but I need to work out timestamps. And honestly, not my forte. So, but I'm going to try one of these days. So, Streets is saying, biblically, there's a biblical saying, in the last days, good will be seen as evil and evil seen as good. Well, there we have it. Alanma is saying, it was shocking behaviour. Couldn't believe my eyes in the game last night. Let's see. Winnie is saying, his real opinion is it looked quite bad. The FA... Huge is saying the FA is a joke of an organisation. They train the worst referees in the world. What else have we got? Wills is in the house and he is demanding to know who voted yes in the poll. We do have a poll, folks. I'm going to read it out for you. I haven't even told us about the poll because we've just got absolutely stuck into it. So, click the button. Click the button, Lou. Should there have been further action taken against Martinelli? Yes, 67%. No, 33%. Keep getting your votes in on that, folks. So far, we've got 18 votes, so that's quite a few people voting. We are going to get to that. I'm going to leave it running until we actually get to that section. When we get to the section, we will see if that has changed at all. Do you know what? Well, we actually just was... Oh, no, there was something else. What else was I going to do there, Ash? Fletcher. Thank God for you, because this is... I get so distracted. I love the comments. I just actually... See if I could just go live and just read all the comments and not talk about anything. That's what I would do, just be chatting. So, obviously, the United Stand have put this out there, but it's from the press conference today for our match against Brighton, I think, because he didn't say this on the night. He said this since. So, Fletcher on Kyle Walker's bad challenge on Patrick Dorgu, obviously, which is what we've just been talking about. That's the territory we're in. It didn't look great from Kyle's point of view, but I like him, so I hope his intent was to get the ball. VAR should have looked at it. They looked at the goal, which was disallowed. Those two situations were massively influential on the game. And that's a good point. Why didn't VAR even look at it? Because it's not a yellow card. It's violent conduct. It's a potential red. Why did they not even look at it? They were quick to hop on about the goal.
It's a weird one. I've not seen if they've come out to say that they didn't look at it because I've got a feeling
they didn't look at it.
I've got a feeling what would have happened, because obviously VAR looks at a lot of things that doesn't come up. I've got a feeling what potentially could have happened, because obviously there's a constant they obviously have constant communication about what their thoughts are and what happened. So like a lot of reason why VAR doesn't get involved in this stuff actually sometimes is because the referee will sometimes say exactly what's happened and they'll give their opinion of why they thought it isn't a red or something. Like so like if VAR, if the referee said to VAR, I've seen this person get stood on, get tripped over, and I don't think it's a red card, VAR can't actually like really overturn that stuff. They may be able to ask them to go and look at the at the monitor again if they think he's made a mistake. But stuff like that it's weird lines in sand. But
clearly and obviously wrong. If they think he's not seen it, what's clearly and obviously happened, they can. I think it's at their discretion. The problem
is, right, it's straight up how I see something like this. I think it's endangering an opponent. Is exactly how I see these sort of incidents. I'll call them, because like I said, I think you need to take intent away from it. That's why I said I think Kyle Walker's intent was to get the ball, but the problem is you need to take that out of the context of what's happened, because regardless of his intent, you can still get red cards from what you've done.
Yeah,
and that's why I think it's bad, because to stand on someone where he did, it's a very weak part of a leg.
And I'll tell you what, do you see if there was an actual injury from that? There would have been riots.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what we'll come on to with Martinelli.
Yeah, but so right, we've talked about that. But speaking of, let me see, that's James Ducker talking about the same thing. So I quoted that twice. Did I quote that more than once? Yeah, I just saved it all when I was seeing it, so that way we wouldn't. Yeah, there's Patrick Dorgu's face.
Honestly, it cracks me up every time I see that.
Because he's literally like, you cannot be serious.
It's like, bitch, did you just do that?
And this is the one from James Ducker. So I ripped him a new one the other day. I was thoroughly unimpressed with him, but he popped up on my news feed today. Patrick Dorgu's honesty was clear for all to see in the Real Sociedad match in March, when he told the referee not to award his team a penalty. He also chose not to overreact in Walker's stamp. And where did it get him? No wonder players feel they have to milk things. He is correct and right on this. James Ducker on the Telegraph. So we're going there. We've so much to talk about. That's for another day. Right. Let's go back up. And let's go back. Obviously, we are going to come to that, but not just yet. Now, let me see. What are we going to do now? Yes. Forest. That's what I want to do. So since we're talking about the referees, obviously there's loads to talk about the referees. We are obviously going to talk about Newcastle, but I just want to go to this Forest one quickly because it's kind of related to referees making absolutely terrible decisions that sometimes need to be revisited. So, Forest. There were several decisions in the game on the 27th. I'm sure it was the 27th of December in Forest versus City. Forest went to the PGMOL. They said, we need this to be looked at. We want to know why several of these decisions were made. We also want the audio recordings of the interactions between the referee on field and the VAR referees on the day, because we want to understand better not only why these decisions were made, how they came to them as a collective, because we feel several of them were wrong. It has now come out that the PGMOL have admitted that Diaz should have gotten a yellow card at the very start of the second half. Manchester City should have played an entire half with 10 men, and Nottingham Forest were banging at the door. Absolutely, because I watched that whole match. Yeah. Banging at the door, and it was very clear that it should have been a second yellow. It wasn't confusing at all at the time. It was very clear. I couldn't believe that it wasn't given. I couldn't believe that VAR didn't tell him to look at it. But a lot of people, when I did a video on this originally, saying I couldn't believe that it hadn't been given, and that they were that they'd asked for this information, and a lot of people in the comments were like, well, it doesn't make any difference, like they're not going to get out and out of it, like what's the point? And my argument was, but if everybody questions all of these terrible decisions, then eventually they're going to feel the scrutiny, and eventually they're going to be like, you know what, we're going to have to just start making better decisions, because everybody's questioning us. So I think you just have to keep at them. It's
not just that, it also opens up more communication, which I think is what a lot of fans have been wanting to hear, between the referee, the VAR, all the decisions, because at the end of the day, as fans, you don't really hear a lot of that stuff. Now we're starting to hear referees speak to the stadium when they're talking about, say, VAR decisions. That's an improvement that they didn't do before. But again, we still need more of these, more of this stuff needs to come out.
Can I just say, in a completely unrelated topic, Wills has put in a comment, and honestly, Wills, I am so glad that you have put in this comment. on Forest, I've been Mandela affected on them. I remember when they had 2 R's. Whilst I genuinely thought Nottingham Forest had 2 R's in their name, I had to check on the Premier League website to make sure I was spelling it correctly, because I 100% believed there was 2 R's not in the word Forest, but in the club name Nottingham Forest. 100%. I was also Mandela affected. Wills, thank you, because that really bothered me, because I know how you spell the word Forest, but I thought the club had 2 R's.
Okay, right. Do you know what? But this is more of me just being like dyslexic. I don't know dessert and desert. I don't know which way. I don't know which one has 1 S and which one has 2.
Dessert has 2 S's.
Yeah, well, you see, the thing is, you can tell me this all you want. I'm still going to get it wrong, though. that's not going to change.
Well, people can use contextual clues to know which one you mean.
It's like when I did my
Wills is with you on that one as well. Look,
like,
Wills is just making us all feel better.
Yeah, thanks, Wills. It's like when I was doing like my uni degree and stuff. It's like for the first 2 years of my uni degree, like we had like whole modules on maths, and like I'm doing like uni level maths in my degree, and I'm saying in exams the crocodile eats the bigger things for like more than and less than, because I don't know which way more than and less than goes. My brain just can't do it.
Guess has a good trick for you. Dessert is extra, so it has an extra S.
Wait.
So your dessert is after your dinner. It's extra food, so it has an extra S. That's really clever. I like that.
The problem is, guess you say this, but I'm still gonna
well,
get it wrong.
Remember the crocodile, surely you can remember more food, Ash.
Hey, no,
surely
listen,
we're not just a football channel. We also give grammar and spelling lessons.
Yeah, listen, yeah, but that's dyslexia talking. I just struggle with stuff like that.
That's clever, though. I've never heard it put that way.
E's and I's. I have no idea which way they go.
There's a rhyme for that.
Yeah, and I still get it wrong.
Before E, except after C.
Yeah, and I still get that wrong.
Ash.
Yeah, but I was never diagnosed with dyslexia, but I always thought I had it. And then my line manager had dyslexia, and he was like, "Ash, you 100% have dyslexia." I was like, "Sound."
Well, no harm. I've never been diagnosed, but I absolutely have ADHD, 100%. And anybody who thinks I don't is nuts. So now that we've discovered the difference between desert and dessert, and whether Forest, and actually Rob was with myself and Wills on that. He also thought Forest had another R.
That is crazy. I think that's crazy. Forest.
Says the guy who doesn't know the difference between desert and dessert. You don't get to call anyone crazy, mister.
But I know how you spell forest. There's not a difference.
I know how you spell forest, but sometimes names, like a noun, is spelled differently. Anyway, there's a number of us. Huge saying 2-0 to Morocco. Let's go. Mbumo's coming back. Go on, son. Ahmad was winning earlier. Rage. Huge has come in. It's because people are named Forest with an R, which would be a noun, therefore spelled differently. Therefore, the double R is like Forrest Gump.
I don't think I've never met someone with the name is Forest.
Well, that's your problem. So,
Lou, are you about to tell me you have?
Only in the movies.
Exactly.
but that's not the point of this. The point I was trying to get to, first of all, City were helped, and Forest, I genuinely believe, could have won that game because they were attacking so well. They took it to City. City were panicking, which is why these fouls were going in. Pep was putting on extra defenders to seal the deal. Forest really had a good game. And if they were playing against 10 men for 45 minutes, they genuinely could have won the match. The thing is, the card wasn't given. They didn't win the match. They've now been told, well, the decision was incorrect and you should have had a chance against 10 men. But okay, so what? Are they going to take the points off City and give them to Forest? Because an apology is no good to them. An apology isn't going to bring them up the league, give them extra points, stop their manager being sacked. Do you know what I mean? I'm glad that, I know, I'm trying not to get distracted by Forrest's comments. I'm going back.
It's I was about to kind of dox myself. When I was actually at Nottingham Uni, I actually lived like literally on the road of the Forest Rec ground. Like I literally lived there.
Now, well, Huge knows somebody called Mr. Forrest. He's a real person in real life with 2 R's, okay? And Flossie is educating us further. Forest's name comes from the playing at the Forest Recreation Ground.
There's
reference.
There's a so they still have on that. That's where they have it. There's something called a Goose Fair. They have that there every year, and they have a 5G AstroTurf playing grounds on that ground. Yeah, it's called the Goose Fair, but basically it's nothing about geese. It's nothing about geese. It's just loads of like it's just local like fun fair and circus stuff. It's nothing to do with geese.
Interesting, right? But Ash, what like I'm glad they did it. I think it's important that they got this decision clarified. I think it's important that the PGMOL had to come out and say, yes, that should have been a second yellow card. It was a bad decision. But okay, what are you going to do to rectify that mistake? Because the apology doesn't help. It doesn't help Forest, and it doesn't help. I'm loath to say it. It doesn't help Arsenal or whichever team is. Again, it doesn't have Villa, who's on the same point, who were on the same points as City, and who also missed out.
But Baloo, this is what I'm saying is this is not just about the Forest game. They're having these problems all the time. Like I said, in our game against Arsenal, Gabriel obviously forearmed Voltemada after he just scored.
And the Gordon one.
Yeah, and obviously this was just a 1-0. And then obviously Gordon got flipping taken out by Chalobah.
Like clothesline.
Yeah, got absolutely flipping wrestled, speared. Like, it was just crazy. Like, but this is what I'm saying is like all of these decisions are happening. So it's like we can say, yes, Forest has robbed here, but there's been so many countless other times that it's happening to other teams as well. Exactly. But this is what I mean. It's like it's multiple teams. So that's why I'm like, yes, we can say Forest's decision was shit. It's affected them. But the problem is it comes down to one thing, and it's shit refereeing. It's these problems are constantly happening. They need to just have a blanket where a blanket statement where the PGMOL is just going to come out, and FA is going to come out and say, do you know what? The referees are shit. We're going to go and train them over the World Cup. None of our
question marks over the trainers because apparently they're not very good at their job.
Well,
I used to be a trainer. That was my job. I was a trainer. I wrote the program.
The ones you put on the shoe?
Huh?
The ones you put on your feet? A trainer? No.
Ha ha ha! You're so funny. Here we call them runners. So when you run in them, what else? Like you run in them. They're runners. They're for running. Runners wear them to run. Are you mental? Well, in the north they call them goodies.
What?
I don't know. Goodies. I don't know what the thought process is behind that. That's what my dad called them. My dad would be like, will you get me my goodies from out there? So yeah, don't ask me. I can't explain that one. But right, let's focus. This is serious business. Marv calls them sneakers. So right, I don't know why, because you're not sneaking around in them. Right, no, let's focus. Huge has given us a serious topic, and we're talking about shoes. Ash, focus. Sorry. And people say I do all the talking. You're distracting us all over the place. I am doing my best to get through these topics. Huge says the biggest problem with the PGMOL, they admit the mistake, which is good, but they need to tell people how they're going to be better so it doesn't happen again. No point in saying sorry if you ain't going to change anything. Wills is saying, couldn't agree more. What good is an apology if they continue to make the same mistakes? They become meaningless and worthless. So and Sophie is saying, nothing is serious on this channel. I did say sneakers was 1 hour. What do you think? I said sneakers. Whatever. Do you know, just leave my accent alone. You call them sneakers. You don't get to dictate. They're called runners. You run in them. It's very straightforward. But yeah, so I just wanted to talk about that because obviously I talked about the fact that we're going to ask about it and then they've got the results. So I was like, let's finish the story. Ash, What would you like to do next? The next two is Arsenal, obviously the Martinelli thing, or Newcastle. Would you like to talk about the Newcastle match with all the goals and the drama and everything?
Sure, we can do.
Talk about it? Right.
Yay!
Now, I obviously have a tweet here. What have I done? Right, hold on. I had a tweet here. Give me just a second. I don't any longer have a tweet here.
Have you just closed all your tabs down?
No, I just clicked a button and it went right. Okay, I've got it. I don't know what I did, but it's here. Right. So obviously there was a lot of goals, but there was also this in your match because it was thought that Fabian Schär had in fact broken his leg.
Yeah.
So the good news is Keith Downey says no. The bad news is it's still quite serious.
So yeah, there's more things that have come out today. Basically, it's not a broken ankle, but he's off with specialists at the moment because it's definitely ligament. Yes, he is 34. He is indeed.
I know how that's the most shocking part of this story, his age.
Actually, do you know what? I've got. I need to get this picture up because I want to put this up while we're on the topic of Fabian Schär.
Yeah, you do.
But basically, so it's ligament damage. So it's still speculated it's going to be anywhere between April to the end of the year that he's going to be back.
That's a lot. Now, Ginny Esta just is backing you up on this. So while you're looking for that, Ginny Esta says he got ligament damage to his ankle, which is often more than a bone fracture, is often worse than a bone fracture. And maybe this isn't the one.
Yeah, he did an interview today.
Yeah,
where Eddie Howe did an interview today, basically just saying that it's going to be. He's gone to see a specialist, like an actual physio, to have actual scans on it because in some ways a fracture's okay. People have been saying his bones can grow back. I'm not being funny. At the age of 34, they typically don't at that stage. They'll put plating in, but it's normally an easier one to deal with. But I'll show you this. So he has. I'll send you.
Yeah, pop it through and I'll pull it up for everybody to be able to see it.
I just want you to see how much Fabian Schär has changed since he joined our club. So he's been at the club now for 10 years.
I'm just opening it up so I can see it because I closed that tab.
Oh
my goodness. Wow.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
I'm going to pull this up so everybody can see it because
he joined 10 years ago.
Jesus. Okay.
So £3 million signing he was, you know.
So this is when he joined. Can everybody see that? So this was 10 years ago. And this was teeny tiny. Okay. So this is what he looks like now. He shrank a little bit.
And got grey hair.
Some talcum powder in his hair. So
yeah, he's got grey hair now. But
so you have aged him drastically.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, he's been at the club for 10 years. He just turned 34. This is probably his last year. He's going to be with us. So I was really hoping. There's still a chance he could come back before the end of the season. I hope he does because he definitely deserves to get a good signing off from the club because he joined us at the same time Jamal Lascelles did actually back in 2016 in the I wouldn't say the good old days of Mike Ashley, but yeah, he joined in the Rafa era, and he's not really changed much. He's just got grey hairs, and he's been an unbelievable.
I've seen people age a lot worse than that now. To be honest with you.
Yeah, he's just got grey. I just find that so funny how like our defenders Dan Burn is also pushing 30, he's 34 very soon. So it's like we've got some rather Asian defenders.
So originally he cost you £3.5 million.
Yeah, it cost us £3.5 million.
Oh my goodness!
10 years ago. He's an absolute bargain.
Wills has a random question for us. Why is Calafiori trending? I'm not sure. Is he on my side for trending? Is he over here? What's happening? The traders are still at where is he trending?
I have no idea.
I don't know. Probably, I don't know.
So he's trending like now, just on Twitter in general.
All right. No idea.
But yeah,
right, but yes, tell me about the match, other than the injury. Everyone probably got to look at them. Look at these, right? They are the coziest. They're like, they're not real sheep. They're not.
I was going to say, have you just taken over a sheep or something?
No, they're from Pennies, but they're like the fluffiest because it's so cold here. They're just from Pennies. You used to call it Primark. It's called Pennies over here, okay? But look, no. They're actually the comfortablest thing on the planet.
We don't call it Primark. We call it Primarni.
Well,
that's
support small business, shop local. Just throwing that out there. But yes, tell me, Ash, will you stop distracting people? Tell me about the game.
So, right, the game was absolutely nuts. I can't lie. It was so before the game. I think it was like an hour or two before it came out to the public that Kevin Keegan got diagnosed with cancer. He went in obviously to hospital with like an abdominal pain, and it came out about him having cancer, being undergoing treatment. So obviously there was a lot of things that came out about that. And obviously in the 90s, he was very big for having his entertainers team, which seemed like it exactly is what this game was perfect for how he would be. So yeah, there was obviously a lot of questions about that. So it was. I'll get into it since you've got it up on the screen. Kind of the tale of two halves, really. Malik Chow, he has been our best defender this season by a country mile. However, this game was not his game. This was not his game at all. So he was only on the pitch for half a game, and what that man did, some people may say he had a bet. He may have had a bet on the other team winning. I do not know what was going on, but this man had howler after howler. He basically was slipping, doing terrible passes. The first goal came because he slipped when we were trying to play out the back, which allowed.
I said playing out from the back should be banned. Remember, I told you.
The problem is the way that we were doing it. It was absolutely fine. He was just trying to carry the ball and just fell over. It was so weird. I know it was but like I said, because of how good he's been, it was by far his worst performance, and he's 100% got a let off for how good he's been for us. Yeah. But obviously we got the win, so we can give him less. Literally, genuinely, it was really really bad.
So I like
the tightest bramble comp. That's crazy though. But
I
get it.
Stinker. It's so descriptive. And Hugh just saying there was a pen call. Obviously, I didn't watch your match. The pen call was a joke, by the way.
Yeah, we'll get into that. So like I said, so in the first half, basically what happened, Malik Chow slipped, which basically caused Dominic Calvert-Lewin got the ball, passed it to Aronson, and he scored.
And can I just say, so I keep interrupting you. I'm so sorry. I'm ruining your flow completely. But when we talked before the match, I told you Aronson was the player that gave Manchester United trouble. When I saw that he scored, I was like, I told them to mark him.
He genuinely, he looks really good. But I was incredibly surprised, to be honest, watching him. But yeah, then we ended up scoring pretty soon after from Harvey Barnes, and then the penalty.
Jesus, sorry, there's a lot of scrolling there.
Yeah,
all over the place, right? So we are here.
Yeah, the penalty was very frustrating. So basically, what happened was they're in the box. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Malik Chow is kind of tussling each other because the ball's about to come in.
Okay.
Dominic Calvert-Lewin pushes his bum back against into Malik Chow, which causes him to fall over.
Yes.
So basically he's got an arm kind of coming out of the side of him to cushion his fall because he's fallen over. As he's doing that, as he's falling, so no part of his body is currently on the floor at this point. Like he is literally like a complete plank in the sky because he's falling on the floor. His arm's out to the side, and the ball hits basically there on his arm. Like it's the most unlucky penalty I've seen. I don't think it was a penalty because it wasn't an unnatural position. It was.
I mean, like the plank sounds pretty unnatural.
Listen, it was a crazy one to see. It's it was a very unlucky thing that happened, and I am not gonna lie, it just summed up Malik Chow's first half. Like it summed it up to a T, and obviously that was basically at half time. And then what happened? He got taken off. He got subbed off at half time, which I'm more than happy with. I'll also say this: Lewis Miley started the game right back.
Yeah.
At half time, Sandro Tonali and Malik Chow came off. Miley got put into midfield, got put into Sandro Tonali's position. Later on in that game, Shaw had that injury.
Yes.
So what ended up happening was because when at half time when Malik Chow came off, Sven Botman came on. We didn't have another defender on the bench. Yeah, we didn't have another defender on the bench. So basically, when Shaw came off, we had to put Lewis Miley from centre mid into centre back. So he played 3 different positions as a 19-year-old in this one game and looked amazing in every position.
And what's his actual position?
So he's a centre mid.
So none of them. My goodness, he's so good, isn't he?
Yeah, he's absolutely sensational. And he looks great in every position that he did. He also, if you look through actually what happened above. So you know how you've put like Harvey Barnes got a very, very late goal. It's actually the latest goal in Premier League history. What's up first?
It's the ads on SofaScore. Tell you what, SofaScore should be should be sponsoring my channel because they're on every single stream I do. Lads, hit me up, okay? The email is in the channel bio. Somebody let me know. But yeah, you're welcome. But yeah, go on. I was just wondering, and then the penny dropped what he was talking about.
I'll try and break it down quickly. So from after half time, go through the goals. The first goal that Joe Linton scored, that was unbelievable. That was when Lewis Miley was in centre mid at this point, so he was actually in his position. Bruno did a pass that was going out to the corner. Lewis Miley sprinted to stop the ball, passed it back to Bruno. Bruno did an outside of the foot cross into a beautiful header. It was an unbelievable team goal, if I'm being honest. That one was absolutely sensational.
You seem to have a lot of team goals. I've noticed that when I do watch it. You do have a lot of team goals.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about how we play. That's why we like Eddie Howe so much. We do a lot of the passing. We have a lot of like one-touch passing, and then at the moment we do a lot more crossing. But then, Aronson then got another goal, which is a great goal again. It was kind of a tale of they were kind of doing counter-attacks. Yeah. It was one of those goals. Nick Pope just stood still. He didn't even try to dive for the ball. He literally just watched it go in, which it kind of went through Sven Botman's legs. So I kind of get it, but I was still think he could have dove. And then Bruno, in typical fashion, we had a penalty. And guess who handballed it? Aronson.
Oh.
So in the 91st minute, he handballed it from a cross that Lewis Hall did into the box. We got a penalty. Bruno stepped up. I am not going to lie. I was absolutely shitting myself when I saw Bruno take the penalty.
Huge says he could have done better. So you're not being harsh. Huge agrees with you. Could have done better. Yeah. Shouldn't have maybe just stood still.
I personally thought he should have at least dove for it. I've had a conversation with, like I said, with some Newcastle fans, and they've said it was unsavable. I personally really don't think so. I've seen it from a different angle. I think he could have saved it. For me, I just like seeing my keeper at least trying to dive for the ball. If you're not going to get it, fair enough. At least you've tried. I absolutely hate it when keepers just stand there and watch it go in, because it's like you've given up without even trying.
Yeah.
But then it's 3-3, and then basically Leeds are constantly trying to time waste. So there was 10 minutes of added time. Leeds are constantly time wasting. We got the goal, so there was a bit more time added on, and then Harvey Barnes got a goal in the very, very last minute of the game, which
I did see his goal. I did see his goal,
which is the latest Premier League goal ever. Even
though United got one after the full-time whistle was blown.
Yeah, this is the late. This is it happened in the 102nd minute.
That's crazy, isn't it? Like when you think of it.
Yeah, it's
a lot.
Yeah, but the thing is, right? If there's Newcastle have released, because they have like our own commentators that commentate on the game as well. They always release an extended highlights, and the commentary is absolutely amazing with the last goal. Like that's going to go down. Yeah. You need to give it a watch afterwards. Like
I must actually watch it. I love that kind of stuff.
The elation is crazy. And then also you've got the likes of afterwards, like Johan Wisser takes the corner flag pole and starts pole dancing with it.
Does he actually? Love it.
And Bruno also starts like giving the finger to the Leeds fans.
I'm sure that went down well because they're calm. Actually, speaking of Leeds fans, Danny is not in the house with us tonight. I hope you haven't put him off.
Potentially. Hey, listen, but the thing is, I say this right. It was a great performance even from Leeds. Like if it was a draw, I wouldn't have been angry with that because I think both teams look very good.
Yeah.
So Leeds is a very, 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 very good team. And to say that was obviously them away from home.
Marv has a question for you, Ash.
Yeah, The Newcastle needs to move. So Eddie Howe was asked about January signings. One of the comments he said was, injuries are going to dictate who we buy. We don't have any fucking defenders. So we need to get...
like injuries are dictating defenders.
Yeah.
And Lewis Miley to get a game in his actual position, bless him.
Well, but so the thing is, it seems like Mark Gahey is looking like he's going to be going to Arsenal or Liverpool or Man City. But I'm hoping, please, us come for him and get him. However,
but to be fair, I seen a certain channel saying that the deal was done today, and then when I looked at it, it wasn't done at all. So you do have to be careful sometimes online with the rumors that some channels put out there. Their titles can be a little bit disingenuous. So
David Ornstein basically just said that it's looking like it could potentially be on in the summer. Which, to be honest, when I watched their Carabao Cup game, Mark Gahey scored, didn't he? And he didn't celebrate against Arsenal, which obviously
that is true.
Everyone was like, "What? That's very weird."
A bit weird, yeah.
But the fact is, obviously, if no deal or anything's been signed, I would like. The thing is, right, we've been linked to Nathan Ake as well, which I think is a very potential option because he would be more like a squad person because we don't really necessarily need a starting centre back. He's 30. He's been with Eddie Howe previously at Bournemouth. It's a signing that I think makes sense, but there's a lot of other signings that we could potentially explore. I've done a little deep dive video into that stuff, which I will be releasing probably tomorrow or later on, whenever.
Well, everybody knows what they're going to be doing tomorrow then, Ash. They're going to be checking out Ash on UFC. Now, obviously, we have to get to Martinelli. We're going to take a quick look at the FA Cup and we have to do our Premier League predictions. I was going to talk about Romero as well, about Spurs, but literally, we're live already an hour and a half, so I don't want to, everyone will still be here. People 1 a.m. will still be here. So, now, Hughes has said, you were lucky to win that penalty. I've seen many of those not given in the Prem this season. Give me 2 sentences.
That was more of a penalty than the first one.
1 sentence was enough. Now, Wills is delighted. He says Saka has officially signed a new 5-year deal. Congratulations on a player that has actually signed a contract, not a fake contract that doesn't exist yet. Marv says, if NUFC get Guehi, that would be the ultimate FU to the rest of the league, considering how many potential signings NUFC lost over the summer. Yeah. Ash, that's a sensitive topic for Ash. People, be sensitive. Ash is still not okay after the Mbumo thing. Huge is saying, I don't think Guehi is going anywhere. He wants a big signing bonus, I think, and Palace can't afford to lose him this season.
Yeah,
and
I don't think he will.
Wills is hoping that we might skip the Martinelli section. And Hugh just saying your Newcastle fan is on tight with that take. I'm not slagging anyone about biased takes or anything after my Ollie segment. So you say whatever you like, Ash.
Well, the thing is, right, the ball comes in for a cross. He jumps up to it and his arm's like out here and it hits like this part of his arm. Like it is away from his body and not really in a natural position. It's the thing is, right,
I don't like to say when I haven't seen it because I think you need to see the build up and then the moment. I don't think handball is still does it. Do you know what I mean?
Please do watch it and let me know your thoughts. So obviously, like I said, if it wasn't given, I could have understood it. But but at the same time, I think it was more of a penalty than the first one, in my opinion. So the fact that how I see it, if the first one wasn't given and that one wasn't given, I probably would have understood it. But I think because the first one was given, you need to then also kind of lower the expectation because like I said, Malik Chow's arm was in a natural position when he's fallen over. He's trying to cushion his impact. So that's where I sit on that.
Fair enough. That's a very thorough answer. Wowza. I'm just going to share this for people because we haven't obviously got to this yet, but we are going to, that's the wrong tab. And I just want to show people the current scores in the FA Cup. We are going to do this. Hold on. I'm trying to zoom the wrong screen.
Nottingham Forest with 1 R.
Yeah. Yeah, with 1 R. 3-2 to Wrexham.
They have just scored.
Forest. Let's have a look. In the 79th minute. Oh, now it's very... Oh, that's not what we're trying to do. This is what happens. I actually don't know. I've lost myself. I'm away. Right. How do I make this? There we are. That's what I was trying to do the first time. So it was 1-0, 2-0 to... Who's on the left? To Wrexham. So Wrexham were 2-0 up.
Yeah.
Wow. So they went in at half time with Wrexham 2-0 up.
They scored very close to each other as well.
Like 3 changes at half time. And then obviously back to 2-1, then 3-1. So it's not as if, actually at no point have Forest been ahead in this game. They haven't even been drawing at any point. Holy moly. Wild, absolutely wild. And why these tournaments are so important. So important.
You can tell what Forest has tried to do. They've tried to play some of their not starters.
Well, that's gone well, hasn't
it? This is the problem. If you want to win competitions like this, unfortunately, you kind of have to. So, but they've brought on more of their first starters. Like they brought on Nico Williams, Gibbs White, Callum Hudson.
Yeah, there were the half-time ones and stuff.
Yeah, they've brought on some actual players. So
we're going to come back to that. First, sorry, Wills, we are in fact going to do the Martinelli section, but we're not going to dwell because we are then going to talk about the FA Cup and we are going to do our predictors. I will leave the Romero comments for another day. I'm sure we'll be talking about it another time because it's just... we get so into topics and then we get so distracted. Johnny is back in the house. Johnny was on my last live. Were you on that one with me, Ash, or was it when it was just me? Johnny was in the house. He's a United fan and he had some great takes the other day. So I'm glad he's joined us in time for some of the predictions. But without further ado, this is what I would like to show everybody. Now, Ash, would you like to talk us through this picture that I have put up on the screen?
Well, the top one, you've got basically, I think it was when Martinelli had cramp or something. It was like he was on the side, and basically Arteta told him to get on the pitch so he can waste time because they were 1-0 up against West Ham. I'm pretty sure it was in that game.
Do you see where he's here grabbing his arm?
Yeah.
And then look, he literally lifts him up and flings him.
I remember watching this game and I was like, that's crazy.
He threw him.
I understand it to the point where the reason why I'm more than fine with to the extent of that sort of happening is because yes, say he could potentially like actually have cramp. Like I think he actually does, but
he
you have to be
he's in severe pain.
Well, that's what I'm saying is like, I have no problem in this because otherwise the play won't ever get stopped. And they'll be down to like 10 men. Objection.
Just in case anybody hasn't noticed, Wills is in fact an Arsenal fan, but we like him, so it's okay.
but this is why I think this stuff's important, because it's more than fine. I think it's important if players are injured that they're on the pitch, so the play is stopped. Otherwise, your team is down to 10 men because there's no reason. There's nothing. The rule book says you don't have to stop the ball. Like if the player is already off the pitch.
It's the same as, when a player has to go, when a player's been injured and been treated, and then they have to go off the pitch.
And for the hot 30 seconds. Yeah.
So the team of the player that's been injured are actually being punished for the fact that their player is injured. And I understand the concept of it, but I'll be honest, I think the rule that they've actually come up with is ineffective, and it's actually damaging. But yes, take us to the next part of the image, Ash.
So basically the ball comes over and Conor Bradley's by himself. He goes to try and like jump and kick the ball, but he's running back to his own goal at this point. As he's doing that, he's like twisted his knee, which was like he's maybe got an ACL or something. Obviously, Martinelli can't see exactly what's happened to it, but basically, as he kicks it, it goes out and he instantly goes down. The second he touches the ball, Martinelli runs over, picks up the ball, drops it on him, and then starts to try and push him off the pitch because he's sort of moved to stay on the pitch, which, like I said, which bear in mind, he was on the pitch anyway. He just wanted to be further on it, which, like I said, I think isn't a problem, but the issue is, right, if he is severely injured, that could have made it worse.
Ash, I understand that we are trying to have a serious football conversation about the things that affect our game.
How does Lou say Liverpool? How do you say Liverpool?
I say Liverpool, but Hassam...
I don't think that's terrible. Wait, Hassam, have you... Wait, is it good you say Sunderland?
I don't know. Ash, Don Hassam might say Sunderland as weirdly as I do. But he's convinced, right? So I say Liverpool, but he's convinced that I say Liverpool, but I don't, because he heard me say it once. But my dad's from Belfast, so sometimes I get a bit of a twang. But so I said it one day, and whenever I said it, that's what he heard, and now he's convinced that that's how I say Liverpool, and it irritates him a wee bit. It's got under his skin a bit.
I mean, there's a lot of obviously there's a lot of links between Liverpool and Ireland, because there's the port and dock that goes straight across. That's why there's a lot of Liverpool fans that are Irish, actually. So Hassam is he questions the way I say the word Liverpool, but it's because sometimes I say Liverpool, and it takes a wee bit of issue with it, and it's irritated him no end. He has no issue with the way I say Sunderland so far, but before the fraud derails the whole show after he missed the section. It's already been derailed about 2,000 times.
Yes. Oh, and welcome to Yasser. Yasser subbed to me today from Hassam's channel. So Wills thought we had changed the subject. He thought Hassam had saved him. He has not. We are circling back.
Well, what we're doing, we're allowing people to marinate in this picture even more before we get to slate what's happened. Look, straight up how I see this, Martinelli is very much in the wrong for what he's done. A yellow is suffice. I don't think he needs more than that. But what needs to happen, people, Arsenal fans especially, can't be defending this. You need to say this was wrong so this doesn't happen again. This is not about the players should get retrospective 10-game bans. I don't think it should be that. I think he is in the heat of the moment, very much annoyed because he wants to try and get on with the game because they've not scored. And yeah, it's a dangerous thing to do when someone is clearly injured. I think, like I said, for me, I think you can't say a player's faked an injury when they've gone down when no one's around them. Because I think when a player goes down when no one's around them, it's 99% time
something quite real because they're not trying to get anyone else in trouble.
No.
They're not trying to get a free kick or a yellow card or anything. It's they're genuinely injured. But so several things here. K-Dot has joined us. Kyle Walker was worse. Kyle Walker was worse. And K-Dot, we've done a whole section on Kyle Walker. So stay with us for the rest of the show. But if you're interested in that, we did do a section on Kyle Walker about 2 topics ago. I don't know how to do the.
And listen, I'm going to say, if you're lucky enough, there is a chance Lou may do timestamps at the end of this. I wouldn't put you too.
I'm going to do my best. If someone can teach me how to do it, I will. But Marv is questioning whether the show was ever on the rails because we were talking about Tai Chi, we were having meal planning, we were teaching phonetics, and no subject is off the table. No, Kiddo, you do not apologize. You are more than welcome. I know you're new. Please do subscribe since you're here. But just so you know, if it's something that you're interested in, it is something that we talked about in depth because Kyle Walker was an absolute disgrace and it does need to be talked about. We talked about both the Martinez incident and also him standing on Dorgu's leg. And we talked about why the PGMOL are completely useless about not being able to go back. So you will feel fully satisfied with that section. Sam is pleading innocence. He derailed it. We're blaming him. It's happened.
I was going to say, listen, you don't even worry about that. It's been 2 hours of constant derailment. We've learned in this stream that Lou also fought Nottingham Forest. Forest was spelt with 2 R's.
I'm not the only one. Will's thought it and Rob thought it as well, okay? But will you were the reason. K-Dot has already subbed. Look at that for efficiency. Only the best people come into my chat. And Hassam. But Ash, what this tells me, first of all, I think it's hysterical that it's Martinelli in both incidents, but his manager has taught him, get up, get back on the pitch. So he has been taught bad things by Arteta.
This is what I find so
put them into practice, but what's that,
5 years apart? Wow.
Does this highlight a bigger issue in the Premier League, which we have touched on several times tonight, where players feel that they have to be over dramatic, that they have to be over involved, that they have to do these crazy behaviors because otherwise the referee isn't going to do their job properly. So Martinelli felt that Conor Bradley was time wasting. He felt the referee would not be equipped to deal with that situation because the referees are so bad in our league. And he thought, well, I'll take it into my own hands. If the referees were better, would players feel less inclined to do this kind of thing? Also does it highlight an issue with the rules where a team will have to play on with 10 men because their player is injured, not because they've done something wrong, not because they've been penalised, because their player is injured. Should teams be punished for having an injured player that's genuinely injured? And should referees just be better at their bloody jobs that will stop players having to do these dramatic things? So I think what he did, look at this. Look at this man, right? He was doing a live stream earlier that was supposed to be a watch along. And you know what he was talking about? He was playing like a Google Maps game. It would plonk him on his screen. That one. That's the one. So he doesn't get to talk about the way I spell forest. Okay? I know what you got up to. Don't you come in here trying to out me, man. But yes, Ash, we're having a serious football conversation. Don't let him distract you. What do you think are the... Yes, he shouldn't have done it. It was a bad decision. Do you know what? I'm going to give Slot some credit. Hassam will leave now.
Slot was very
credit. I thought he
very
spoke
level-headed,
incredibly well on this.
Oh, by the way, 3-3. Nottingham Forest has just scored again.
Oh, 3-3. Excellent stuff. Where have I put it? I have.
They scored in the 90th minute.
Ooh. Right. No, that's the wrong way.
It's their right back scored. Interesting.
Share this tab and put it. Oh, you can see it now. Excellent stuff. So.
Oh my God, his forehead is gleaming. Bloody hell.
The lights.
Jesus.
The lights aren't helping him.
He has waxed his head before this. That is shiny.
Poor man. But anyway, he's Dutch and he's bald, so that's enough for me. And what he says, he's very magnanimous. And the gist of what he says is, I'm 100% sure that if he knew what the injury might be, that he would never do that. Now, I'm almost definitely not allowed to play this.
I don't know Gabriel Martinelli. I don't know Gabriel Martinelli.
We're just going to do it anyway. So he's saying,
I think you can play
Martinelli seems like a nice guy. The problem for him is, and it's a problem in general football, that there is so much time wasting and players pretending that they are injured in the final parts of the game that you can sometimes be annoyed if you want to score a goal that you think that player is time wasting. And I cannot ask from Gabriel Martinelli to understand in the 94th minute when it's so emotional for him and he's playing Liverpool, that is team against Leeds United, and we won't even go to the floor, and we play West Ham United, and Paqueta tries everything. I don't understand what's happening.
Lou, I find it so funny how you
lost him.
Lou, you can play the video. I find it so funny how you're playing the video and you've just muted it as if like that would have made a difference. You can play the audio as well.
Can I actually, if I play that, can you hear it?
Yeah.
Ash, I don't know these things. Right, let me play it again. We're gonna just play it from here because honestly, I'm not gonna be able. Oh, yeah, okay. So I am allowed to play it. I don't know what's copyrighted and what's not. So it's
100% sure that if he knew what the injury might be, that he would never do that. And but it doesn't look great if he has the injury, which we fear he might have, of course. But football, time wasting, diving has come to the situation that players think in the 94th minute that probably that is happening again, because I've seen it happening against us so many times this season that I can understand that Martinelli might have thought that this was time wasting as well, and he couldn't thought about this is Liverpool. They don't do this.
I don't
know, Gabriel.
So I agree in parts in what he's saying, but I wholeheartedly disagree when he's saying like, I really don't understand this thing where it's like, oh, people dive. That's true, but the problem is that doesn't if someone dives, doesn't then give an excuse to then go and manhandle someone. Like that's where I don't get it. Like I'm saying is if a player has gone down with no one around them, I will probably say that's never a dive. I will always say that's probably an injury. Hey, listen, he has been moisturizing that flipping head. Like genuinely, that is if he goes down a slide, he's going at like 200 miles an hour. Like that's crazy.
Aerodynamic.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I think he spoke well, but it brings me on to some of the other comments that have been put out there, and some people are displeased with Gary Neville and Roy Keane. Now, Gary Neville said he's surprised that nobody whacked him from the Liverpool team.
I completely agree.
Right.
Completely agree is my take on that.
Me too. And I would just like to say, because there's people out there going mental saying that he's inciting violence and all this with these comments. And I'm just like, first of all, he didn't say that they should. He said he's surprised they didn't. The reason he is so surprised is because when he played for us and he was a whippersnapper, Roy Keane whacked several people for picking on Gary Neville. So what Gary Neville saw a young player being picked on by a guy, and he thought, well, when that happened to me, my captain whacked somebody. So he's thinking, why did that not happen? I'm confused. And Roy Keane is thinking, well, I whacked a few people. They're saying that that's what would have happened back in the day. They're surprised 100%. It didn't happen now. And I understand that sentiment.
No, 100%. At the end of the day, the other team has just pushed your player who's down actually injured. I'm very surprised no one did it. At the end of the day, I'm telling you right now, that referee stood with the fact that McAllister and Szoboszlai instantly started pushing him. Neither of them got a yellow card.
They were the only two, but I thought fair play to them.
Yeah, Canati ran over and he ended up getting a yellow card. It said for argumentative. I don't know if he was being very argumentative with the ref, saying maybe he should have got something else. But he also pushed him. But the thing is, I think the referee completely backed what the Liverpool players were doing and understands that they would get very angry at that. Because I think any sort of team, you back your players. You know, if any you've seen it. If a player on the other team pushes your manager, everyone on your team will go around and basically start beating the shit out of that player. Like, I think there's certain things that you just don't do, and you back your own team, and it shows a sense of spirit. Like what Flossie said, like Big Joe with Amon and us, 100% getting it. Like, I'm not saying necessarily go and flip and knock him out or anything, but you got to like teach him a bit of a lesson, because like it's not okay.
I criticize our Bruno regularly. What I will say for him is, I think if someone went after one of our young players, I do think he'd be straight in there. I mean, he might just be doing this, but I mean, I do think Casemiro would murder you. Martinez would murder you. Like, we have players that will be straight in, and there's a lot of things I really dislike about my club at the moment. That is the one thing I think they do. That's how Casemiro got sent off in that Will Hughes incident, because somebody else was fighting somebody else, and they all came running in and were like, "Stay away from our players, lad! Like, back it up." So I just, but I thought people completely. I think Slot reacted in the right way for a manager. He understands the frustrations of time wasting, and you can hear it. See, when he was like, "That's been against us many times," like, he's emphasizing, he felt every word of it. But I also understand Roy Keane and Gary Neville, because they're coming at it not as pundits, they're coming at it from player point of view. What I will say, I think it was completely wrong. I think it was a silly thing to do. I don't think it was malicious. I don't think he thought he was as injured as he was. I think he thought, not that he wasn't injured, I think he thought he was hamming it up a bit. I think he thought it was cramp and he was hamming it up.
But the issue that I have is, right, he's trying to push him off the pitch so he can play on. So they're down to 10 men. Like, just even that is so unsportsmanlike. Like, and the thing is, it's like, when even Slot says, "Oh yeah, other players have done it to us," I completely understand the sentiment. Time wasting gets added on to gets added on. All that time that's taken away gets carried on into the game anyway. So it's like, you're not actually losing anything. You just look like an absolute donut.
Hold on. Flossie, Dave means our Bruno, not your Bruno. The handbag. So when Bruno says Bruno would definitely have his handbag out, he means Bruno Fernandes, not Bruno G. Just so everybody doesn't run Bruno.
Hey, listen. Hey, it better be. If not, Dave, I'm coming for you as well.
So Wills is saying it was an honest mistake. It wasn't malicious. It wasn't thought out. And he guarantees that he doesn't do it again. And he didn't need to be taken out or whacked or anything else, which is fair. Look, I would stick up. No, to be fair, if one of my players did that, I'd be like, "You silly bugger." But I don't think it was malicious. I do believe, and supposedly he reached out privately, which I think is the key. I think apologies need to be done between the people and that were involved in the incident. I had to snuff that in the chat, because I knew it was the Bruno. I was like, "Wrong Bruno," because I knew when I saw a handbag, I knew which Bruno, and then I was like, "Oh no," because you were talking about your Bruno. And Hassam is right. Everybody like the video. Oh, do you know what we need to do? Because I keep doing polls and then forgetting to check the results of them, because honestly, we get so caught up in chatting.
Yeah, you said it was more on yes before.
Yeah, and it actually hasn't changed.
That does kind of surprise me.
But the percentage hasn't changed. So obviously it's come out then today. Nothing else is going to happen. There's not going to be any further action taken. To be honest, I think that's fair. I think that's probably the right decision.
That's what I said before. I think it's only a yellow.
Yeah, I agree. But so the poll said, should there have been further action taken against Martinelli? 67% of people say yes. 33% of people say no. So it just goes to show you, it's interesting. It's really interesting. But I think for me, it highlights bigger issues. It highlights bigger issues is my main thing. Players do these things because they feel the referees aren't capable of refereeing the game. So they feel they have to do it for them. That's the problem.
The issue is, I also think part of that poll is also an annoyance, because I and other people, and I'm sure other people in the chat will have seen, there are some people in the Arsenal fan base that have like stood with Martinelli and said what he did was right. Which
that's the problem.
I think as football fans, we should all be able to understand and see that that was a very wrong thing to do. Say he doesn't deserve any retrospective bans or anything like that. A yellow card is correct, but we need to talk about it because we need to make sure other people don't do it. Because now the next person who does it knows he's going to get that the entire football fan base on his back, being slating him, saying that this is completely wrong. I know the reason why he's done that, because he's angry because Arsenal's at home and they haven't scored. They're trying to capitalize and win the league. Games like this, if they draw or lose, I've said this from the start, the only way that I can see Arsenal losing this is not because of how good they are, it's because of the fact that they will get more draws than loss. They'll be getting draws instead of wins. So
Ash, I'm laughing so much because we're still here. Flossie's been and walked the dogs. Gava's been and moderated a whole stream, and we're still here. Oh dear, welcome back everybody, we're still here, right? But that does tell me, right, we've covered all of the big stuff. I literally, because I don't want to spend too long on this, so what I'm going to do is let me see, I can get rid of that, let's go to the FA Cup, because then we have to do our predictors because we won't have time, otherwise we'll miss it. So let's go quickly for the FA Cup, and then we will finish up with our Premier League predictions while everyone is still here to get their votes in. So, I'm a silly sausage. I'm the silliest sausage there is. The FA Cup, whack her up on the stage. It's teeny tiny because there's still so many teams. As we can see, the current scores for the 4 matches in play tonight: MK Dons, Oxford 1-1. Port Vale are beating Fleetwood 1-0. Preston are losing to Wigan 1-0. Wrexham are still beating Nottingham Forest 3-2. It's not looking good.
Wait, what? No, wait. Refresh it. It's 3-3. They're in extra time.
Is it?
Yeah.
That should auto-update. Oh, right.
Yeah,
nothing else changed, but they're now drawing. They're into extra time.
They're in extra time.
Okay. Why that should update while I'm looking at it? Who's saying I can't see that? Gav's saying I can't see that. Yeah, they're teeny tiny. Here, if I zoom on the scores, the last time I tried to zoom, I made a mess.
I was going to say, get up FootMob. It might be a bit easier to see on there because it's...
Well, are we looking on this or are we looking on this?
No, on FootMob instead of SofaScore, the website.
What do you want to see?
Oh, on the left side it's much bigger. Like FootMob's kind of got the whole thing.
Oh, all as one. Right, let me pull it up then, and we'll see.
They've got the fixtures on there. If you get it up, it's probably just a bit easier to see on screen.
Okie dokie. Yep. And then if I just type FA Cup fixtures. Oh yes, I see what you mean. It's just a bit more nicely laid out. It's a bit more pleasing to the eye. Yeah.
I always say that. I think SofaScore has more detail, but I think FootMob is more aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, so if I want information, I go to SofaScore. But yes, you're right. In terms of showing this for the people, this is probably a bit better. Right. So, Ash, you talk us through the FA Cup.
Well, it's interesting. There's obviously some decent sized games on tomorrow. Like you've got Newcastle, Bournemouth, which Semenya. By the way, I'm very annoyed at this. That every single year they keep on bringing out new rules. So previously, if you had a player who played in a round of the FA Cup and went to a different team, he couldn't then play for that new team in that competition. They've changed the rule this time. Oh. So Semenyo has played for Bournemouth already in the FA Cup, has gone to Man City, the EFL, sorry, in the Carabao Cup. I'm going to talk about this. So he played for Bournemouth in the Carabao Cup. They got knocked out. He's now at Man City and will be eligible to play for Man City in the Carabao Cup, which we have them in the game after this, in the next game.
Yeah, but I agree with you. Like, why change that rule?
Yeah, it's annoying.
That's great. If they're cup locked or whatever way, right? So let's go through. So Leicester, Cheltenham, Everton are playing Sunderland. Funny how they're matched up. Yeah, Crystal Palace should beat Macclesfield. Wolves, come on, Wolves, beat Shrewsbury. Come on.
Wolves are they're in some good form.
I hope that the smash Shrewsbury. Sorry, Shrewsbury. Burnley, Millwall. Burnley are not having a good time. Southampton, Doncaster, Fulham, Middlesbrough. That'll be interesting.
That'd be an alright game. I think Fulham should win that though. Yeah,
this could be a demolition.
Another different potential manager that you could have from that was at Middlesbrough. Gareth Southgate.
Oh, let's not talk about him. This is a happy 3-match. Manchester City should smash Exeter. How do they always get, like, how many Premier League teams have we gone through that are playing each other, but Manchester City got Exeter? Are they having a laugh?
Yeah, there's been a couple.
Play Bournemouth.
Yeah, there's been a couple of teams that have had harder fixtures than others.
Yeah, it's funny how that happens. I'd say Spurs would argue that point who have to play Villa.
Yeah.
I mean, the mighty Grimsby are going to be in action. Brentford are going to play Sheffield Wednesday. They should beat Sheffield Wednesday. Chelsea got a good one with Charlton Athletic. They should win there. And then...
keep scrolling down.
I went all the way to the bottom.
No.
I was looking for us. But that's why I was looking at
it must be up there. Just go on then to the right arrow.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because I was like, "Where's the rest of us?"
Yeah, it's kind of weird. They put it like that.
They probably just literally ran out of space. But so then Leeds should beat Derby. Arsenal should beat Portsmouth. Let's see. West Ham, Queen's Park Rangers. That could be interesting because that could be curtains, is what that could be.
I think there's definitely going to be some upsets in some of these.
Well, there normally is, but I mean that I reckon West Ham could lose that.
Oh,
honestly,
yeah, potentially. If I'm being honest,
we obviously play Brighton. Carrick is still going to be in charge because our owners are determined to drag out this interim manager appointment, so they don't have to buy any transfers because they're distracting people with the managerial thing. Because if they appoint whoever they're going to appoint, say tomorrow, that means people are going to go back to talking about transfers, and they don't want that. So they're just carrying on. So, did I say Carrick? Sorry, I meant Fletcher. Carrick and Fletcher, they're just interchangeable, obviously. Thank you, Gav. So yes, Fletcher will be in charge still against Brighton.
This is Lou announcing that Carrick's got the job.
Yeah, sorry guys, I'm actually in the know. Liverpool, Barnsley, that should be handy enough for them. So
Barnsley needs the win.
I would suggest we have a tough one. Us and Spurs Villa. They're probably the two.
And us.
Oh yeah.
We got Bournemouth.
And use of Bournemouth. And Bournemouth are doing quite well. So that's the three really that are sort of might be a little bit
Premier League versus like Premier League teams, yeah.
Yeah, the rest should really smash through, shouldn't they?
Yeah, there'll be the occasional team like Everton, Sunderland. That's another one that's Premier League.
That could be interesting. There's some decent ones, and there's some. I think the Fulham Middlesbrough could be interesting.
Yeah, I agree.
Liverpool, City, Arsenal all have decent matchups.
Yeah, no, Newcastle are at home for that fixture.
Now, Ash, we are going to do predictions, but have I saved the link? I thought I did for doing these. So remember last week I remembered to bring them in here, but maybe I didn't. I thought I hit the little star. Oh, maybe not. Do you have the wee link handy? Because I'm a dope.
There you go.
Excellent. Oh, buggered. I clicked out of the wrong window. I closed the WhatsApp. We're loading, people. It's okay. It's all going to be fine. And Ash, talk us through some of the comments there while I am pulling this up.
Technical Lou's trying to understand what to do.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Nothing out of the ordinary. Guys, what upsets do you think there's going to be? I think that the thing is, though, every single time that stuff like this happens, everyone always says Premier League teams are just going to win, and it doesn't happen. Hence the Man United, the Man United situation, which we won't get into. It's going to be interesting, I think, because I obviously want us to be in every competition. I don't want our players to just get overly tired because we're going to have a lot of stuff. But I think we've got the squad depth for it. So we're doing there with the Premier League fixtures. It's going to be interesting this because I obviously it's a week and a bit away. There could be some signings in that time.
There could be. There could be actually. That is quite a bit away. It is a week, a full week. Right. Can we just talk about the fixture list? Because we actually might be live even before these set. So do you know what we could do? We could do a quick round of predictions and then we'll be live again just before these kick off. And we will see, we'll keep them and we'll see, has our thoughts changed based on any
signs and stuff? Yeah. That could be shown.
That could be fun because we've promised the people we're doing them now. So, right, let's see. I saw Billy in the chat. He wants to know, do I want Ollie back?
Oh, no, stop. No, Billy, you've opened a can of worms again. Don't do this. Go to the start of the stream. When this is finished, go to the start of the stream and watch this because Lou, right, listen, one thing we've learned today, Lou has got a screensaver of Ollie there. Ollie's drinking a cup of tea and it's what she looks at every day. First thing she turns on, she looks at Ollie. She's got a mug, even got one of those little pillows. You know the pillows you sleep with? One of them. It's a whole pillow size of just Ollie. So you can take that as you wish.
And K-Dot did miss the start of the stream as well, joined us after, has said they would like Roy. To be fair, I would take Roy. But with the whole Sir Alex thing, never going to happen. So without further ado, it's 10:15 at night. It's been over 2 hours. I have work tomorrow. We need to get some sleep. So lads, it is predictor time. Manchester United versus Manchester City. Try not to break my heart.
Could be the new manager bounce.
It could be, but
it could be Ollie back at the wheels for this one as well. It's going to be weird, isn't it? That because
get them in the chat, people.
It's going to be Semenyo's first game for Man City that we do know. That is a transfer we do know has happened. What's everyone saying? We've got Marv said 3-3. I think Man City is going to win this, to be fair.
Marv is the only one brave enough to put a score in. Jace has no comment. Dave Boyce has no comment.
Oh, another
Wills
one.
is shouting for United.
Quite a lot of AFCON players will be back, I'd imagine, as well.
What we're going to have, who said earlier?
Mbeumo. Yeah, they were two. It was 2-0. I'm check. Yeah, it finished 2-0.
1-1. So we have a 3-3 and a 1-1. So 2 draws. Wills is saying 2-1 United. Flossie wants us to win, so she's willing us to win. But so far, Ash, what is your score prediction?
I think it's going to be a 3-1 to Man City. Or 3-2, actually.
Do you know what it is?
Man City still...
I have no idea. I've genuinely not got a clue because Manchester United just turn up for these things.
Yeah.
Turn up. They do crazy things and they arrive.
Like it's going to be interesting to me because, like I said, you're going to have a new manager bounce probably. You're going to have some players back from AFCON. I doubt you're going to get a sign in because Glinios just wants to skirt away from anything to do with transfers. But it seems like Man United's winning this. It didn't.
I'm listening to you, but I'm encouraging people for their happy comments. So we did in the end get
right. All I'm saying is Gav has just said they won't score 3. I'm sorry. Do you not remember the other week when Bournemouth scored 4 away? Like, are we just about to discount also what happened. Like, you can't just be like, because you guys are looking better.
Ash,
you still
don't
have
be a
some
party pooper because you got outvoted, okay? Now, next, Sunderland versus Crystal Palace.
10-0 Palace.
You're insane. Oh, I can't ask you about this. Right, let's go, chat. We want to finish this in the next 10 minutes so everybody can go and have an evening. Because we have taken up literally your whole evening.
I am gonna say this.
Palace.
I am gonna say this. Sunderland has not lost at home this season.
Sunderland.
Sunderland. Sunderland has not lost at home this season. I will say that.
Okay.
They're also going to have a lot of players back from AFCON as well.
They don't need them. They don't need them. They're on fire. Marv is saying 3-1. Where did Marv go? I saw him there. 3-2 Sunderland. Dave Boy, 2-1 Sunderland. Rob, 2-0 Sunderland. Ginny 3-1 Palace. Streets, 2-2. Jay, 2-1 Palace. Flossie, 2-1 Palace. Gav, Sunderland win. Guess, 2-2.
2-1 Palace.
Oh, that means Palace has... How many is that? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And you've gone Palace, but I'm going Sunderland. But Wills has cast the deciding vote because that was a draw, and he has gone 3-1 Palace. So the deciding vote goes to Palace, but I reckon given how close the votes were, we'll give it a difference of 1 goal. So I reckon we're going to go with Palace because that was the decision by the audience, but we'll go with 2-1 because we reckon it's going to be close.
I will say,
yeah,
there may have been 3 Newcastle fans that will vote Palace to win. We did not sway the votes.
Not at all. Now, I would just like to tell everybody, I think Sunderland is going to win this match.
And you would be wrong.
Chelsea, Brentford, Ash. Hit me.
3-2 to Chelsea.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be goals.
I think Brentford's gonna win. I think
I could see
Chelsea's
it, but you
get another red card.
Liam Rosenoir, it's his actual first game as the manager. I think the players are going to be up for this. I can see through 3-2 just because they're at home. If they were away at Brentford, I wouldn't say that. But
I reckon think... Brentford, I do. But right, you're saying Thiago. Chelsea, I'm saying Brentford. And let's see. Jay is saying 3-2 to Brentford. Dave Boy is saying 2-2. Guess is saying 2-1 to Chelsea. Rob is saying 2-1 to Brentford. Wills is saying Brentford are solid 1-1. Flossie is saying 2-1 to Chelsea. Did I say Ginny and Marv?
No,
I missed them. So Ginny said 2-2. Marv said 3-1 Brentford. Igor is a beast and gets a brace.
No, I agree. That's why I said 3-2 because I think Thiago does get a goal or 2. He's got 16 goals this season.
He's so good. I did a video on him. He's so good.
The craziest thing, right? Erling Haaland has 20 Premier League goals this season. He's been spoke about as
the second coming.
If not the first coming. Like, this man's something else. So the fact that Thiago has literally kept up with those numbers, if Haaland did not score those numbers, like
Thiago would be running.
Thiago would be spoken about like crazy, and he deserves all the praise.
And he's come through a lot of hardship to get here. He had a lot of injuries, he had a rough time. He stuck it out. He's been really, really, really good.
He's tracking for 32 goals this season, just in the Premier League. That's crazy.
That's unbelievable. And nobody's talking about him except me and you. No. But anyway, Gav says Igor Thiago to get a brace as well. So let's see. What have we got? There's Brentford.
I've seen quite a lot of it. Seems quite
Brentford seems
quite mixed.
Yeah, I've seen Flossie and Gas have Chelsea. And then Dave Boy and Ginesta have a draw. And then Marv and Jay and Rob have Brentford. Bills has a draw.
I say because it's very mixed, you'd make the final choice.
Right. I'm going with Brentford. And I think if we're saying Thiago's going to get a brace, and then I reckon Chelsea will get one. So,
okay.
That's good. Now, Wills has a good point.
Also, I forgot
I wrote this down because it was important. Now, where did I put this?
I was just about to say, I completely forgot Cucurella is going to miss that game because he got the red card, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. I think there's been something like, there's been 6 0-0 draws since the new year. I wrote it somewhere and I don't know where have I wrote it.
6 0-0 draws.
Since New Year in the Premier League, there's been 12 draws. 5 of them were 0-0.
Oh, but that was because on the do you remember it was that on New Year's Day there was those 4 games and all 4 were draws and 3 of them.
But the point stands. There has been 12 draws since the new year. So people shouting for a draw, they might be right. Marv is saying the same as me. Chelsea are going to get another red card. WWEFC back at it. So yeah, I'm sticking with it. Right. Liverpool, Burnley. What do we reckon? You okay? You're like frozen, thinking, loading.
4-0, Liverpool.
4-0 to Liverpool.
Yeah.
And Jay is saying Liverpool will lose 2-1. Streets is saying Liverpool will win 2-1. Dave Boy is saying 4-0 to Burnley. The Great Escape starts now.
Do you want to know something that?
Yeah.
When you mentioned about the Chelsea potentially getting another red card, I looked something up the other day, and I could not believe it. If you put it like in an ascending order from teams from like red cards to the least, this season, the bottom 13 teams has the same amount of red cards just as Chelsea.
Ash, I did a full video going through the red and yellow cards and the penalties awarded per team this season.
Baffling. 13 teams has got the same amount of red cards as just one team. That's mad.
Very interesting.
That's mad.
It's a good show. You should watch it. Now, to be fair, it was just to see. I compared it year on year rather than for that. I was looking at were we giving out more cards and penalties this season compared to the previous 2 seasons. It was actually very interesting. But let's see. So the rest of the scores. Did I say Marv said 2-2? Streets are saying Liverpool are starting to head form. Ginesta is saying 3-1 Liverpool. Rob is saying 1-1. Wills is saying easy Liverpool win. Gav is saying Liverpool, unfortunately. Guess is saying Liverpool 3-0. Billy is saying Liverpool. It would seem like Liverpool. Was that all Michael Oliver while reffing City? No comment. So we're going with Liverpool. It seems to be pretty unanimous. So I think we'll go with 3-0 because it's so unanimous. Leeds, Fulham. Let's go, people. Leeds, Fulham.
4-3.
Jesus. 4-3 Leeds?
Yeah.
Just checking.
These teams are actually really high-scoring teams at the moment.
I think this one could be high-scoring. I do. Yeah. I think this one could be high-scoring. Definitely.
Back-to-back Leeds being in a 7-goal thriller.
That could be good. Now, the scores are coming in early. Marv is saying 3-1 Leeds. Ginesta 2-1 Leeds. Guest Leeds 2-1. Board Dave Boy Leeds 2-1. Jay 3-1 Leeds. Rob 2-1 Leeds. Okay, it seems unanimous for Leeds.
Well, Leeds is definitely Leeds is definitely winning. Fulham's definitely getting 1 goal, and it's either between 3 or 2 that Leeds are scoring.
So let's go with 3 because we think it's going to be lots of goals. That's our input to this score.
So what do you think it's going to be?
Oh, I think Leeds. I would have said 3-2 Leeds. Okay. I think a lot of goals, and I think Leeds. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Spurs West Ham. This could be like 0-0. This could be one of those boring draws we're after been talking about.
Yeah.
Gav, you didn't give us the score that time.
I'm very unsure.
I think like 1-1.
Yeah, I was thinking 1-1 as well.
Yeah, I just think it's going to be dross. But the people in the chat have a bit more faith than us that there might be some excitement in this game. Marv says 1-0 Spurs. Jay says a draw. Gav says West Ham. Dave Boy says 1-0 West Ham. Ginny Estes says 2-0 Spurs. Rob says 1-0 Hammers.
So currently West Ham's winning by 1.
Yo. West Ham 1-0. Because if your fingers aren't fast enough. Oh, and Wills has just confirmed it. 1-0. So that's it. It's the fastest fingers tonight. So Forest with 1 R against Liverpool or against Arsenal with 1 R. So what do we reckon? This would be the same Forest that have just drawn in the FA Cup.
It's still going on. I'm checking. It's still on right now. Yeah, it's still 3-3.
So they're still 3-3. They're going to be so tired. They're going, although no, the age is age.
I was going to say, it is over a week.
I keep forgetting. I'm so used to this 2 games a week malarkey now. I keep forgetting. But
I know,
right,
we've been spoiled.
But why didn't they just spread them out? Because now look at what are we going to do for a whole week?
Wait, no, because you've still got the Carabao Cup. Carabao Cup's is still coming on. So there's still more games. Don't worry.
That's what it is. I forgot about the Carabao Cup. I actually like the Carabao Cup too. I still call it the Carling Cup though. In my head, it's forever the Carling Cup.
I know. I think that's the same with everyone. It'll always be the Carling Cup.
Always, no matter who puts their name to it, it's the Carling Cup. But yes, right. Let's see. So Gav has got fast fingers. He would like everybody to know. Advertisement on YouTube. Gav United has got fast fingers. So he says. Now, any scores? Ginny Asta is saying 2-2 for the Forest Arsenal. Marv is saying 3-2 Arsenal. Rob is saying 3-0 Arsenal. Dave Boy is going 2-1 Forest with 2 R's. Jay is going 4-1 Arsenal. Guest is going 2-0 Arsenal. Wills is waiting for the casting vote. Alanma is going 2-0 Forest. Forest are struggling with Wrexham. We must, says Wills. That's pretty unanimous for Arsenal. How many goals?
The thing is, right, you've also got a thing. Right now, Forest is away at Wrexham. They are also resting players, so I wouldn't take that as an absolute. They're going to be at home for this. Arsenal only, you guys have got 0-0 into the Liverpool game. I think it's going to be 1-0 Arsenal.
Gav is saying 2-1 Forest, and you're saying 1-0 Arsenal. So
I think so, yeah.
Arsenal is what's out there. They're sure, man. With United behind him, there's Roy Keane engineering stuff. Right. So I reckon they might get a goal, but I do think Arsenal's going to win, and that was pretty unanimous. Now, the big one. Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Newcastle. Get stuck in, people. Team Wolves. Sorry, Ash. I'm not changing teams. We've been backing them all season. We like you. We like Newcastle. We like Eddie Howe. But we love Wolves. They're the underwolf this season. See what I did there?
Well, yeah, but they can be to a different team. They don't have to be to us.
Well, they drew us, so best of luck, pal.
I've always said this. Wolves are a lot better than what people are giving them credit for. If I'm being honest, I do think we're going to have signed someone by then. Mm-hmm. At least one, maybe even 2 players. Mm-hmm. We're looking a lot better at the moment. I can't lie. 3-0 Newcastle.
Okay. Ash has given us the score. 3-0 Newcastle. Ginny Estes is 3-1 Newcastle. Rob says 4-0 Wolves.
That's right, Rob, you're muted.
Dave Boy says 2-1 to Wolves because Newcastle don't travel well.
I said people couldn't have their voice, but that opinion is too outlandish. You can have a timeout. You can sit down in a corner. You can sit down on the naughty step for 5 minutes. I'm not allowing that.
4-0.
That's crazy. 4-0.
Yeah, but he has to be able to give his vote for the next scores. Right. Dave Boy, 2-1 Newcastle don't travel well, so he says 2-1 to Wolves. Guess is saying 2-0 to Newcastle. Wills is saying Newcastle win. Jay is saying 2-1 to Wolves. Mama Flossie is saying 2-0 to the Toon. Gav, it is Wolves at home. Alanma is saying 2-1 Newcastle. Gav is saying 3-2 to the Toon, but they have to deal with that monster up front for the singles. Dingles. He means Wolves front man.
Well, Strand Larson. I think he might get sold, but that's actually a good point. I think he's going to be sold before this game.
Is he?
Yeah. So we tried to buy him in the summer. We put a bid in for like £60 million. They didn't take it, and now they're trying to flog him off to us and some other teams for like £40 million. So I actually think he's not going to be there for this game. And he's only scored, Strand Larson. He's only scored one goal this season, actually. Granted, I will say,
to be fair,
Mateus Mane, I have literally said this. I need that man at my club. Buy him now. He is so unbelievably good.
He says the other guy.
Oh, what? The crocodile. A crocodile. I'm just gonna call him Crocodile. I can't say his name. Tulu Crocodile. Big Nick. Wait, are you on about for us?
I thought he meant for.
Gabby, you on about Newcastle or?
I thought he meant for Wolves because he said Wolves to win. They're to the Toon, but they have to deal with that monster up front for the Dingles. Yous aren't the Dingles, so no, he means for.
Yeah, so I'm presuming you're talking about Tulu Crocodile, whatever the hell his bloody name is.
I'm going to try and get this name because the man is not called Crocodile, Ash. You can't call him Crocodile.
It's like Arcadale or something. It's literally Tulu Arcadale or something.
His name's not Crocodile. So let's just get the poor chap's name out. Hold on. Where am I going? Wolves. Players.
But no, Flossie, FYI, I do not want Larson to come to us.
Your wee man, Hwang Hee-chan, he's been doing well. He's scoring. He scored in the last 2 matches for them. And Mateus Mane, does he mean Mane?
No, that's what I was saying. I want Mane to come to us. Crocodile.
But that's Arcadara. It's definitely doesn't start with a C. Tolu. Why don't you just call him Tolu?
I told you it's Tolu Crocodile. Thank God.
Right. So whatever. Right. Fine. Tolu Crocodile. But I think Newcastle were the winner there on the votes, on the score predictions. I think Wolves will score because they seem to be on a streak of scoring now. I probably would have said a 2-2 draw. Because yous are having defensive struggles. We don't know that you're going to sign anybody. Wolves have started scoring now, and I think they might just get into a rhythm of it. But I will stand with the chat, and I will go, do you want, let's see, do we want 3-2?
Hey, no. Stop saying we. I do not want this.
What do you want?
I'm not standing for a draw. You do not use the word
I'm not putting a draw. I said the chat have voted for a Newcastle win. I would have said
3-1.
draw, but the chat,
3-1.
so 3-1. Okay.
You know what? I'm hoping what we do, we buy Mane in this next week.
He's a good wee player.
He's only 18 years old. He's so good. Like he's got so much talent. Like And the thing is, he fits he's the exact demographic that we actually need in our team right now. He plays right mid and he plays right wing and does an attacking midfield role. It's the exact player that we need.
Now, Aston Villa, Everton.
That's there. You see, Gav, see, it was Crocodile. Flipping knew it.
Right.
I am never going to learn that man's name.
Well, he's forever Tolu Crocodile now. Right. The lads are getting stuck in. Gav is saying Villa win. Ginniesta is saying 3-0 Villa. Marv is saying 3-1 Villa. Mama Flossie is saying 3-0 Villa. I think this might be Villa.
Ooh.
Board Dave Boy is saying 3-0 Villa. Guess is saying 2-1 Villa. Right, Ash, everybody's going Villa.
Everyone said 3-0 Villa. So.
I was right. A Rockadara.
Yeah, I ain't got a
Rockadara. I mean, I was pretty close. That's quite good. Rob is saying 2-1 Villa. Rob, who has not been timed out. So.
God, it all comes back, doesn't it?
Full circle. That was 2.5 hours later. We came full circle to the phonetics. Wills is saying 1-1 because he likes to be different. Maybe 2-2. But I can't believe we came full circle to the phonetics. Right, we're going with a Villa win. Ash, what did you say other than Crocodile in the last 2 minutes?
I don't even know. God, well, the thing is, Keane and Grealish have both got red cards. They're going to miss the game.
Oh, bugger rude. They're bugger rude. Right.
Yeah.
It could even be like 4. Let's go with 3.
Yeah, I'd say 3-0. I think it's fair.
Yeah.
It depends who they get back from AFCON, because I think Idrissa Gana Gay, I think, is still there.
Going.
So yeah, they're gonna be struggling.
Right. The last one before we can push the button. Every week. Brighton, Bournemouth.
Push the button and let me. No Semenyo. Are they going to have spent some money because they've just got 65 million from Man City? Are they going to spend some of it?
We don't know, Ash. That's why we're going to do them again.
That is the question.
Think about it right now.
Well, Brighton's at home. I think they win 3-1.
I reckon Bournemouth win.
Wrexham just missed the penalty.
Oh dear. Wrexham have missed a penalty. So let's go to the scores in the chat. Ginniesta is saying Brighton 3-2. Marv is saying Brighton 3-2 because he reckons Bournemouth will miss Semenyo. Wills is saying 2-2 for Villa Everton. Mama Flossie is saying 2-2. Jay is saying a draw. PFC TV is saying Brighton 2-1. Dave Boy is saying 2-2s. Rob Always United is saying Bournemouth 2-1. Olanma is saying 1-1. Streets is saying 2-2. There's a lot of 2-2s. 2-2.
Streets said 2-2 twice.
Yeah, but I only said it once.
Yeah, there's a lot of Desmonds.
Right.
2-1 Brighton, 3-1 Brighton.
Oh, have we gone? Have we tipped the balance? Have we moved to Brighton? Guess Brighton, Gav Brighton, Wills with 2-2.
Ginniesta Brighton, Marv Brighton.
All
PF
right,
Brighton. Yeah, actually, I think it is more Brighton.
More Brighton? Will we change it to 2-1?
Yeah, I think it is more Brighton.
Correction. Right, we are about to push the button. Can you even still see that? Probably not. Right. I've pushed it. Jesus, if we are right, Brentford are going to be in 5th. Liverpool would be in 4th. Aston Villa would go above Manchester City.
Wow.
You would go above us.
No. Yeah, but that's because you put flipping Man United to win, which is also crazy.
So what you're saying is we could be even lower than 7th?
No, because unless it's Brighton. No, because we've got Brighton to win as well. Did we put Chelsea to lose or draw or something?
I think we put Chelsea. Oh, I need to scroll up, don't I? I was like, I don't know. Yeah, we've put Chelsea to lose.
Right, okay.
Right. So essentially what we need is Chelsea to win and you to lose. Sorry.
Yeah, you've still got to beat Man City as well.
Oh yeah.
That's the biggest part of this. You've got you guys beating Man City.
Ups. Oh, so basically Man United are absolutely not going to be anywhere near the European spots. We have had 5 chances to secure European football, Champions League football, and we've buggered it every time. We're in trouble.
Igor Jesus he's had a penalty saved.
No.
It's current. They both scored 2 and they've both missed 1.
Right. Let me just since we're here, right. So we know what our predictions look like. Can you see that now? Let me see.
Yeah.
We'll finish off the penalties together since we're all here, and then it's time to go. So this is where we are. Penalty shootout. Wrexham have scored 3 and James McLean too, that missed his. He's controversial. He is a controversial human being. Gibbs White, so Igor Jesus, and he's been just, although it looks like he's had a rough game today, maybe it's us.
I was going to say, is it the same James McLean that I know? The guy's 6 years old. It is.
Oh, it is the same James McLean.
He's been around for so long.
Yeah, going around stirring the pot with his big wooden spoon everywhere he goes. Anyway, right. Okay, so we're all level here because Thomason just took that one. So he has scored. Obviously, I can't show you the match, lads, because TNT might have a small problem with that. But we might as well round it off. We're nearly there.
Yeah, Nico Williams has scored. God, it's going to be... If Forest goes out, that'd be crazy.
If Liverpool actually lose and Newcastle win, Newcastle go above Liverpool. Look, Marv is planning his next vacation with KLM. KLM are a really good airline. I travelled with them when I was going to Brazil. Honestly, they were one of the best airlines I've ever flown with. And it was like a 13-hour flight, because to get to Brazil, you had to go from here to Europe, from Europe to Brazil, and then fly internally in Brazil. There's no direct anything.
Really?
Yeah, you can't do it. It's not possible, because they don't have, like, the place I go to is a place called João Pessoa. So it's like a city on the northeast. But to get into Brazil, you have to go in through Rio or Sao Paulo. You can't just fly to the destination. But yeah. PFC TV. No, it is County Louth. It's the wee county. What have we got? Ash?
Oh my God.
Wait,
Forest is out. Forest
are out because Hutchinson missed.
Oh my God.
Oh dear. Forest have gone out of the FA Cup to Wrexham. Well, lads, a dramatic show, a dramatic finish. I hope you've all smashed the like button. It's time for me to go, for you to go, for everybody to go, get some sleep, get yourself over the shock. You saw it here first. We watched it together. Forest go out of the FA Cup to Wrexham. Thank you all for joining us. Have a lovely evening. Smash a like, tell your friends, and we